Welcome to the Blaming on the Boogie podcast. We just tonight 4 brothers, all from East Boogie, just here to talk to you about what we love, and that's sports. Today's episode is episode number Deuce.
Today's special.
So 2.
Oh, I was like 2. I was like, wait a minute, ain't we on like 30 something?
Yeah.
No, man, come on, man.
Correct, Dory. We run the count.
I was confused too, but you know, I'm not a numbers guy, so I kind of let it go.
Keep up.
It's technically 34.
Keep up.
Now you sound like Chuck Woolery. We'll be back in 2.
But it is 2. Season 2, episode 2. What's up, y'all? What's up, Rob?
Somebody thought about. I just thought about this.
What's that?
Okay,
Nash,
interrupted my intro, but go ahead. What you just think about?
Okay, you graduated in 90, didn't you?
That's 87, man. 87.
No, I said Nash.
Oh, okay. I said Roddy is 80.
So literally, we got 87, 88, 89, and 90.
That's right.
It's literally something that literally just dawned on me. You was like, 4 brothers.
I was like,
wait a minute. We 87, 88, 89, and 90. Just right.
Before you were so rude.
Can I get back to my intro now?
Yeah.
Okay.
You good? You great now?
That was interesting. It was, D.
It was
interesting.
You should play those as lottery numbers.
All of us old, but that's okay. It's all good.
Do lottery numbers go that high? We should play that pick'em, the 4 pick'em or something. Can you do that? Do they go that high?
We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. Listen, y'all. Let me get back to my intro.
Okay, fine.
Go ahead, knock yourself out.
I got to introduce y'all. The people don't know who y'all are. Let me introduce y'all.
Allow me to introduce myself.
Tonight, as usual, we got with me in the top right corner, we have Dante, Geechy, Dead Nash, all the way from Phoenix, Arizona. We got Antoine, D-O-O-V-E Williams from Florissant, Missouri. We got Dorian, D Almighty, the Wonder Mouse Brown from Richmond, California. And of course, we got me, Rodney, right here, Detroit, Michigan. So we will get this out the way real quick. Before we start, we need y'all to click the like button, click the notification button, click the what's the other button? Subscribe button.
Hit the what button?
Send dudes the money. Dudes always gotta get the money.
Send it.
But again, we thank y'all for. It's better when I say it, man. It's better when I say it.
I think that's what you was trying to say.
It's better when I say it. But anyway, we want to thank each and every one of you for continuing to join with us each week. We love you. We enjoy doing what we're doing, and we're gonna keep doing it because we know y'all love it. Mm-hmm. So hey, that's what we're here for. All right. We used to start off with the recaps. I used to have Doran do the recaps, but you know what? We ain't doing no recaps this week.
Because we don't remember nothing.
I don't remember what we did. Doran just said. Doran just said we graduated 87, 89, and 90.
Yeah, we didn't even remember that.
We don't know nothing.
We talking about recent news.
Well, yeah, we want to get right into the new stuff.
We're
going to start it off with some NCAA football. Right now, right after the Michigan won the national championship, you had a lot of schools that decided they wanted to make changes. And one of the changes was the one and only coach who I really don't want to talk about, but Nick Saban. I'll talk about him now since he left that school down south in that horrible state next to Georgia, between Georgia and Mississippi. They got a new coach. They poached a coach from University of Washington. Kalen DeBoer. went from Washington to Alabama. Now he's leading that team. We also have questions at the University of Michigan as to whether or not they're going to keep their coach. But when DeBoer went to Washington, from Washington to Alabama, Washington had a spot open, and they pegged University of Arizona Jet Fish as their head coach.
Say what?
Say what?
$55 million to make you get a shave on it. Make you like a whole on it. That Big Ten money, like a man want it. Look at him before and after.
To go from Arizona, well, where's Arizona playing next year? Where did they end up?
In the Big 12.
They in the Big 12?
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, going from the Big 12 to the Big 10, yeah, that's a move I'd make. And Washington got money too now. What kind of money they got in Arizona, Dante?
It's Arizona. It's Tucson, man.
They got a lot of boosters in Tucson.
I don't know. If they do, it's probably, I don't know, maybe illegal narcotic money coming across the border or something. It's Tucson. I don't care. I'm
Oh, no.
That's the wrong person. They program sucks.
Oh, my God.
Has to be. Hey, but real quick, hold on, Rod, before we talk about another coach. Look at Kevin DeBoer, though. I love his press conference. I tell you one thing. If it don't work out for him as a coach down there, he damn sure look like the next governor, don't he?
He got that red tie on. We know what he's all about.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, this is how I look at this.
Go ahead,
This is exactly why NIL must exist. Because he got to Washington from, what was it, South Dakota State?
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the big FCS programs or something. Won some national championships. He had only been there 2 years?
He was
at UW.
Hold on, I'm about to tell you.
It was about 2 years.
I think he was only there 2 years.
I think they're getting ready to call these boys the Good Old Boys Network, but I didn't say.
Well, I'm not necessarily talking about the idea of it being the Good Old Boys Network. I'm really talking about the idea that that these coaches ain't loyal. That they'll leave in a state.
Coaches ain't loyal.
Is it a song?
Like,
These coaches ain't loyal.
These coaches ain't loyal.
Coaches ain't loyal.
So why shouldn't the kids have an opportunity to play for who they want to go play for? So it's like he got all these kids to Washington, and now he leave, and now they just there. So they should get the opportunity to go to other places. So that's the one thing. Maybe I shouldn't say the NIL, but yes, this is why they should earn money in addition to being able to transfer.
But speaking of,
it's an early lesson for them though to understand that the bottom line is what counts in the end.
So D. He spent 5 years in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Yes, good program.
From 05 to 09. Then he was out of coach. He wasn't the head coach until 2020.
He was
the head coach of Fresno State.
Wasn't he Justin Love's head coach?
Not according to this.
where did I thought he went to San Diego State?
He went to Fresno State.
South Dakota State.
One of these quarterbacks. That's not on his coaching record here. Unless there's some other year. All they have here is Sioux Falls from 05 to 09. And then in 2020, he became head coach at Fresno State. Was there
05 to 09. Okay, sorry. That's too far. That's too far back. I'm thinking more recent.
But on that same note,
Fresno for two years, and then Washington 2 years, and now he's at Alabama.
Yeah.
So
for players, like I said, coaches being able to dip up and leave for the bad players should be able to too. When Roddy was talking about that earlier, he taking his boy Austin Mack with him down to Alabama.
teaches you to look out for your
Rodney posed
best interest. It teaches you that at an early age. Go ahead, you good?
No, I was just saying. Rodney posed a question earlier with Austin Mack following his former coach from Washington going to Alabama. What does that mean for the current Alabama quarterbacks on the roster? Speaking of this,
Milroe and something like that.
Milroe.
Yeah.
So Duran,
I think it lets Milroe know he needs to transfer. I mean, hey, obviously, as far as DeBoer is concerned, he's bringing his luggage with him too, and his Louis. To steal Coach Prime's line, he say, "I'm bringing my folks with me."
Yep.
So Milroe, it's time for Milroe to be like, "Yeah, I need to find somewhere else to go." If he's not going to be able to legitimately compete for the job.
Well, Milroe does something completely different than Mac. Mac is more of a pocket quarterback. He throws that deep ball.
Culture.
Like the coach that he's losing now. The quarterback, what's the quarterback? Watch the name. Watch the quarterback name. What's the name?
Jordan Love with Utah State.
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
Watch the quarterback name?
Michael Penix Jr.
Michael Penix. So Mac is like Michael Penix in that he's always looking downfield to throw the ball. That's not Milroe's game. He's a runner first, a throw a second. Actually, runner first, runner second, then a throw a third. That's really what he is. So you're right. It either you're gonna switch positions or you're gonna transfer. But the question is, by it being so late, all these other quarterback spots have been taken. The musical chair's been playing for a while. It's a little difficult to get in at the end and then try to find one of those seats left over.
I don't know.
I have a landing spot for him if he was to try to go transfer, jump in that portal, like we're talking, because I agree he needs to dip town because they're about to change the culture, if you will, at quarterback in Alabama. He should he might as well Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts was
about to change.
But if he has time and he's thinking like we're kind of thinking about what may happen with the new regime coming in, I want to go look at Michigan because Jim Harbaugh's taking his guy. Well, not taking his guy, but we know JJ declared for the draft as well. So I could see Milroe going to Michigan if he wants to compete high level again and be in big conference. That may be one landing spot if he still has time to jump into the portal. That's just my opinion.
Who's in Michigan, Rob? What they talking about in Michigan in terms of
the Michigan they got another 4-star recruit that's a freshman that'll be playing for them next year. But he's more of again
freshman.
Whether Harbaugh is there or not, I don't think Michigan's philosophy is going to change. And it's not Milroe won't do well in Michigan because again they want their quarterbacks. They don't let their quarterback run that much.
The
running is done by the running backs basically. They want the quarterback to stay back there and orchestrate the offense. Dink it off, and then when you have when you got them on their toes, throw it deep. That's what they want them to do. I don't know if Milroe can do that. Milroe can do that. Maybe because he didn't have to do that at Alabama, he didn't do it. But who knows?
And finally, that's the dude who replaced the Jed Fish, Brennan. Never heard of him, but that's the new coach of U of A. I was just looking at
where did he come from?
I
had to fact check myself. I was totally off. It was Jordan Love, and he went to Utah State. I don't know why I was thinking. Was I thinking about that he was the coach? He was Carson Wentz's coach. No, 2005 to 2009. I thought he was. Anyway, so.
But he was at University of Sioux Falls. He went at South Dakota State, D.
Oh, Sioux Falls. Okay. Oh, I was totally
University of
off.
Sioux
I'm thinking.
Falls.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm thinking somebody totally different.
When he left Sioux Falls, he went to SIU actually, and was their offensive coordinator from 2010 to 13. Then he came up here to Eastern Michigan from 14 to 16 and was an offensive coordinator. Then he went to Fresno State under Jeff Tedford, became their offensive coordinator, and then he got the head coaching job there.
Okay.
So, yeah, he's been. Well, I guess because Sioux Falls is I think that's an NAIA school.
Let's see.
It's probably an FCS, anything.
I'm looking at it.
Why y'all looking up NAIA schools?
They only have 1,142 students and 311 graduate students.
It's an NAIA. He won 3 NAIA national championships: 06, 08, and 09. Which shows you what kind of cachet that has, because he left there after winning 3 national championships to go be an offensive coordinator in Southern Illinois.
All right. Well, shout out to him.
That was about a paycheck.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they paid him more as an offensive coordinator than head coach at the NAI school.
Hey, right. The Good Old Boy Network is something else, though. But anyway, moving on. Hey, dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You
all
see
right,
the
we
question?
Get to a little college basketball. So the question that we have is, well, let me go back. Bronny James has had a lot of hype behind him for a long time. And he became a recruit at University of Southern California, USC.
Spell
and what? Shut up. Whatever you said, shut up. Anyway, he was recruited at USC. But the question is, would Bronny James be a top recruit if his surname wasn't James? And dudes, I'm coming to you first.
Yeah, come to me first. And also, I'd like to give a shout out to DoorDash. They just brought my hot wings.
Go ahead.
Don't do that.
But I like to start it off, basically talking about, as far as the health goes of Bronny James, hopefully, everything goes well with his career and he remains healthy here on out. But I definitely believe the fact that he is LeBron James' son, that definitely plays a part in his recruiting, him being a top recruit. He is he's about 6'2", 6'3", but he's a slasher. He's not an outside shooter. He's not a ball handler. And so he's kind of like a tweener, so to speak. So I believe, of course, and then the biggest name in basketball, that couldn't hurt. But that definitely is the reason why I believe he's a top recruit.
Right.
Or was a top recruit.
Doran, what's your thoughts on that? As you drink your water.
What brand of water is that?
I ain't giving no. I'm not giving anybody any endorsements. Nope. So
faucet water.
y'all terrible. Y'all are terrible.
Faucet water, sponsored by Doran.
I think that it's the hype train more than it really has to do with talent. I think one, and we've talked about this, is that we're the college ranks in terms of these top players aren't really necessarily going to college like that anymore, right? So I think I don't think that he got the type of. I think he was talented enough to be a top recruit in college. I think the issue is that there's so much hype with social media and all these kinds of things. And then, just to really, echo what Dude said, when you're the son of the person who people are arguing is the greatest player to ever play the game, that's a lot of pressure. And so everything he does is scrutinized. Like you said, Rodney, earlier, what they showed him, making a layup, that he's just making a layup. Well, right. Everything that he does, whether it's good or bad, is going to be magnified. So if he has a great game, then they're going to start comparing him to his father. If he has a bad game, then all of a sudden, he's never going to be able to live up to the legacy of his father. So there's so much pressure on this kid that I wish they would just let him be a kid.
Hey, D, also, I was thinking about this. Right, it just came up. I just thought about it. I just got an email from heaven. It just hit me. But
Okay.
what do you think about the attention that having LeBron James' son brings to the the school?
Oh, big time. Because they're gonna assume LeBron is gonna be at the games.
Exactly. So that's a reason to recruit him as well.
LeBron is going to be sitting up in the owner's box, or at a certain point, LeBron is going to donate
exactly
to the school, right?
So
yeah, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well,
it definitely comes into play. Yeah.
But give him a chance. He's suffering the Jeffrey and Marcus Jordan syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, go ahead.
And he did just come off of what is it? Cardiac arrest or whatever.
Cardiac arrest, right? Yeah.
Give him a chance to heal up a little bit. Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, Nash.
Just a couple things on that. So with the question, would Bronny be a top recruit? So we got to first define the top. We're talking about top 100. It's a lot of kids. Top 100, top 50, top 10. So regardless, that's the first thing. But then secondly, first of all, my answer is no. He would not be a top 50 recruit in the country if his last name wasn't James. I mean, he could have kept his mama's last name, and that probably would have pushed him down to maybe a top 100. But the point being is, one of the reasons why that goes kind of to Rodney's question, would even be a top recruit? No, and the reason why he is a top recruit, why he was pushed up, why he's being elevated, it was unfortunate for him to have the medical situation. But this whole thing, remember, guys, we just talked about what did Dorian say? 87, 88, 89, 90. Time is catching up with LeBron. And this whole thing is LeBron wants to be able to play with Bronny. So when Bronny got hurt with that situation, first thing I thought was like, man, well, that whole thing is out the door. And so that's kind of my little take on that goes to Rodney's question. He would not be a top recruit, but just the fact that LeBron wants to be able to get on the court with his son is why he was being pushed to the status to where he was. And maybe, perhaps, a lot of this pressure, like Dorian said, not having time to be a kid, living up to these standards of your dad's last name, of who your dad was, that could have, I don't expect anything, led to his cardiac arrest, just overwork, the stress of all that. So that's my take on that. So to your question, Rodney, no, I don't think he would have been a top 50 recruit if his last name wasn't James.
So here, go ahead, D.
It's something I just thought about too. It just something hit me.
You got an email as well, huh?
You got the email?
Interestingly enough, I just thinking about how they grew up. Look at how many places they lived.
Mm-hmm.
How he's never really been able to be at a particular school for any particular time. He's been he went here. He started playing here. Well, then they moved to LA, and then he was in LA for so many years. They were in Miami. They were in Cleveland. They were in that kind of thing. So you moved him around all of these different places. So he really never honestly got the chance to really go somewhere where he could honestly kind of be a top player.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly enough, you really like his senior year. I was just looking it up. He averaged 13.8 points, 5.5 rebounds, 2.7 assists, 1.8 steals. 13.8 points. You thinking 13.8 points, but he only played with them kids for a year, 2 years. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I haven't really seen enough of him.
So
and any of the other high school,
and he's not a bad player by any stretch, but it's just the fact that
But All right, so here's my issue. Here's my issue. Again,
He's not a star.
Hold on, real. Bruh. TJ Oshie just scored a hat trick for the Washington Capitals. They beating the Blues ass 5-2, man. I'm sorry. That's your hockey update since Dorian don't cover it no more. Anyway, back to you, sir.
Man, I thought something happened. Give me a trade, an NBA trade. We'll talk about later. But no. So,
that good.
So,
nope. New York didn't get
not that he's a bad player. I'm not saying he's a bad player, right?
Mhm.
He's a decent basketball player. But the problem I have, they got him ranked. They had him ranked as the 19th best recruit in high school last year, scoring 13 points a game.
paid a lot for that rank.
Nothing that you see on his stats, even in the games, would suggest that he's the 19th best player in the country. Not even close. And then he gets to college. Dude said it. He's 6'3". He's a 6'3" shooting guard that can't shoot.
Yeah, slasher. Yeah, that's
can't shoot. He is nowhere close to the athletic as his daddy is. Not even close. He does have a good feel for the game, but he's not a point guard. Mm-hmm. So they created this persona. And the thing about it, I was just reading, doing my research a second ago. This man has had 7 million IG followers since he was in elementary school. 7 million IG followers since he was in elementary. We don't even have 70.
Imagine if LeBron had IG and all that when he was in high school and the coverage that he was getting back.
That brings me to the point.
No, different sign of times, right?
It's not that Bronny's a bad player, but he's been groomed by his father to be the next coming. His father is the one that said, I'm trying to stick it out so I can play with my son. So what's happening? Now these teams are pushing Bronny's ranking up because they're assuming that he's going to be a one and done player and he's coming to the league and we need to draft him because we want LeBron to come.
That's
so to answer my question, would he be a top recruit? Not even close if his name wasn't James.
Nope.
And you know what, Rod? I was just trying to think of star slashing basketball players at like 6'2", 6'3". And the only thing I could think of maybe Donovan Mitchell. But I mean, he's ultra athletic. You know what I'm saying?
Rodney, what you trying to say is Bronny is the next.
But see, the problem is I don't even think he's mediocre. That's the problem.
How did mediocre man get in this?
That's the word Rodney was trying to figure out.
Mediocre always come up.
You see Rodney trying to spell hypocrisy.
But again, and at the end of the day, I hope that I'm wrong about the brother. I hope that he develops his game and he is the next coming of his dad. But as of right now, he's done nothing to even attempt to show. Let me tell you how bad he was. The game the other night, they got blew out by, I think it was Arizona. Caleb Love blew him out. Completely blew him out. That's the one when I said, they showed a highlight, and his highlight was him shooting a layup. I'm like, are you serious?
Oh, that's what that was? Him shooting a layup?
They got to show him in there. They got to put him in there.
Hey, mind you, I'm the last person in the world to be talking about somebody shooting layups.
Yeah, right. If you made a layup, we'll put that in the highlights.
But that being said,
it'd definitely be a highlight,
bruh. That's his highlight. That's all he did. I think he shot like 3 of like 12. So it was horrible. He did hit a 3 though. He hit a 3, but that's all you get.
Well, the most important stat is field goal attempts. So as long as you're getting shots up, that's all that matters.
Yeah, but Caleb Love killed him. I mean, absolutely destroyed him in that game. So, no, that's my answer.
But Caleb Love is also a senior, and he's a freshman.
Coming off
So-
cardiac arrest.
I thought Love was a
But
junior.
again, I
No,
think
he's
it's
a sophomore,
more,
isn't he?
huh?
Or is it? Well, hold on, let me see. Caleb Love.
Okay, Love, shit, he about to be a junior. No, he's a junior this year.
He's 22, so he must be a senior, junior, something like that.
He Love's a junior. Came got that bag.
Yeah, he spent 3 years in North Carolina. He's a senior. He spent 3 years in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And now he's at Arizona.
Speaking of which, we number 4 in the country, y'all. Y'all didn't
6'4"
know.
from St. Louis, y'all. 6'4" from St. Louis. Caleb Love. Shout out St. Louis.
Exactly. Caleb Love. Let's say I gotta follow the brother. He down there balling the U of A. Because ASU ain't shit in basketball.
He played for Jason Tatum.
Oh, his
Boy.
AAU team.
Yeah, at CBC.
Oh, the dad.
Yeah, Big J.
Yeah, did that.
Okay.
Sorry,
All
Justin.
right, some other
Justin.
fellas.
Justin Tatum. Yeah.
Yeah,
some,
Justin
some,
Tatum.
some other fellas that played this wonderful game that we call basketball.
Speaking of 87, 89.
And actually, Dorian and I can say some friends of ours. We gonna claim it, D. We gonna claim it.
Right, we gonna claim it. Because
We gonna claim it.
if he saw us, he'd know exactly who we were.
Exactly.
Make sure you hashtag.
During our heyday, even though Dorian hates Michigan, he loved the Fab Five.
Only
As we all did.
Only because they're my boys now. I hated them when I was at U of I because they was always putting a thumping on us.
And letting
Now
you
they
know
cool.
about it.
Now they cool. Oh, they still, bruh. Man, Jimmy King still let us know about that. Every time we go up there, he has something to say. Like I said, this year, Sterling Sharp was instigating. But yeah, but now I'm glad to see that they got back and that they hopefully that's not a photo op. And they've really gotten over their differences or whatever, and they could go to being friends again.
Yeah, I'm hoping they resolve their issues, man, because I mean that was a special team.
Oh yeah, man. I hated them, but I love to watch.
It was the issue was more with Weber than it was the other four. But they finally, ego is a crazy thing, man. When somebody bruises your ego, it take a lot for you to try to talk to them, to try to forgive them or whatever. But once that conversation was had, matter of fact, we even talked. We talked to Jalen about this. Once that conversation was had, they started putting egos aside and decided, they started talking to each other, and then they had this particular event right here where they all got together for the first time since '93, back at Crisler Arena at University of Michigan. Not that they haven't gotten together, but it's the first time all 5 of them have gotten together since '93 because they, you get 2 or 3 here and there, because they still talk, just like brothers, man. Brothers fight.
Oh yeah.
But at the end of the day, y'all gonna talk, But for the first time since '93, they all got together and they all went to a game in support of Juwan Howard at Crisler Arena. Now, Michigan's team sucks right now, and Juwan may not be there too much longer. But that being said,
I ain't clapping for him to lose his job. I'm just clapping for Michigan because Michigan sucks.
But that being said, it's a great thing because I don't care. It's the toss-up between the Fab Five and the Running Rebels as to the best teams in college basketball history. Now, I give it to the Running Rebels because they won.
Yeah, I like UNLV.
Shout out to our other friends, Larry Johnson and Anderson Hunt.
Yeah, man, name dropping. Look at these name dropping.
Dropping names.
But LJ, no, I'm the biggest Knicks fan there is.
Yeah, we could tell you look like you've been suffering.
It's a great thing that they get together. Shut up, dudes. that they got together, put aside their differences, and went back to the location where they did all the damage against all the other NCAA teams,
where they made their name,
including the Fighting Illini.
Including the Fighting Illini. Unfortunately, Michigan played Illinois. I want to say today they are playing right now. It's second half. Illinois is up 45-38. They're in Crisler right now. So we need to keep that score going, Illinois. Because y'all INI.
Hey, we got to do a show. We got to do a show one time talking about like our memories of that Illinois team, that great team with Nick Anderson, Kenny Battle.
Oh man,
let's do a show
talking about
that. I can tell my I bumped into Marcus Liberty in the cafeteria story.
Yeah,
I can tell I did a flying cross body drop on Kenny Battle when he's playing an empty, knock him down. Hey,
there used to be some good balling going on in Empty.
Hey, you ain't gonna dunk on my teammates and me not do nothing about it. But hey, after that, he remembered me forever. After that one though.
Oh yeah, my dad still got the. He still got we got a VHS tape of Rodney getting dunked on at Scott Air Force Base too. So I'm about to get that.
What's up, dude? You don't have that. That does not exist. That does not exist.
Send me that.
You remember that, D?
That does not exist. That does not exist.
Please.
I don't know what you're talking about.
On camera, Rod say, "Hey, cut that."
Hey,
cut that out, man. You can't be showing that.
For serious note.
You can't be showing that.
Serious. Back to Michigan.
Something worse than Rodney's basketball game. Rodney.
Yeah, so this week we had actually it's just
you can't do that while I'm laughing, man.
Yeah.
That's a rough transition.
Man. It's a very unfortunate that's a horrible with transitions. It's a very unfortunate incident that happened this week to the Golden State Warriors and to the NBA in general, actually to basketball in general, because he was an international basketball player and coach. What is it? Dejan Milojevic. Dejan Milojevic.
Why are you guys laughing?
Listen, man, you can't be laughing, man.
Victoria, what are you doing?
Dante said you was going fucking.
You didn't have to. We were all going along.
Listen, man.
As Rodney would say,
this is about RIP.
Rodney doing all the practicing. You go.
Start over, Rodney.
Steven, how you gonna laugh during the RIP section, man?
Hey, we talked about like Fred Stanford during the last RIP section drinking. So
maybe we should do RIPs last.
We're trying to keep his life happy.
Listen. On a serious note.
I'm sorry. Dante said in the very beginning, Rodney doing all his accent, looking it up on Google, and he gonna get out here and mess it up. And that's exactly what you did. You got over here and messed it up.
We're gonna have to cut this all off. You can't be laughing during the RIP section, man.
If you cut the sound, it kind of look like we're crying.
So we are
right.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
joy and sadness. But on a serious note.
On a serious note. So the Golden State Warriors family did have a tragedy happen to them. It's kind of weird. They were all having a coach's dinner before a game. You know, they all get together before a game. They were playing Utah the very next night, and during dinner, Dejan had a massive heart attack, and they tried to resuscitate him there. They were successful a little bit, but by the time he got to the hospital, it was just too big of a emergency medical situation, and unfortunately, he did not survive it. And he's a championship coach with the Warriors. He was an international player, like I said, an international coach. And from every person that you've listened to since this incident has occurred, they said even though he was a great player, great coach, he's an even better person. And then sometimes you hear that, you think, okay, people are just saying that. But in this particular case, everyone that you come across said the same thing. They said it didn't have anything to do with basketball. He was Mike Brown, the coach of the Sacramento Kings, said if they put pictures in the dictionary and you look up gentle giant, you will see Dejan in there. And he was real close to the guy. So we do want to send, Blame It on the Boogie's condolences to the family, to the Golden State Warriors, because I mean, it's one of those things, bro. And y'all, Dudes and Dorian know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
When Donovan passed, when my friend Donovan passed away, it was killing us. But basketball was the thing that brought us a little bit of joy. If only for a couple of moments, it brought us joy. So I want these guys to be able to get back on the basketball court, to remember their coach. And in the case of Golden State, try to use it. Try to use
dedicate
something.
the season to him, and
dedicate your season to
try to use it to propel them.
Eliminate all the animosity between Draymond and the rest of the team, and get to playing better basketball. Do his memory good. But on behalf of the BLOTB posse, that's all of us. Our condolences, our prayers, our thoughts go to the family, the friends, the team, and the NBA in general. Because even though there's a lot of players in the NBA that were never coached by him, the NBA is still a family. And when one team hurts, all the teams hurt. So I'm not going to try to say the name no more because Dorian, I don't want him laughing in case I messed it up. I'm going to let Dorian say the name. What's the name, D?
Dejan Milojevic.
And that's exactly what I did.
And I said that while I was eating candy. That's not what you said. That is not what you said.
But anyway, we're going to move on.
Dorian bragged on it. He said it while he was eating.
We're going to move on from Dejan, but we're going to still talk about these Golden State Warriors.
Golden State Warriors.
Because D team has come across some bad little situations lately.
Why, Lord, why?
But the question is, Draymond Green came back. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday?
It was about
Tuesday or whatever.
Yeah.
Draymond came back after missing what was it, like 13 games or 14 games, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
But they were still losing. They still lost. Draymond's presence hasn't brought back. Oh, wow. I'm sorry. Draymond's presence hasn't brought back the winning nature that the Golden State Warriors were used to. As the breaking news, as Dante said, man, Jalen Brunson got 40 points. It is against the Wizards, but he got 40 points, man. He better be an all-star. But let's go back. But D, your Warriors, man. Do you see a path for them improving, to changing their fortunes for this year?
No. I said we had this discussion the last time, and we talked about the fact that last championship, the cards just fell into place for them. Nobody expected them to win that championship out of the 3 spot. So the Cards just played right. So they were already starting to decline for me. I just, they just happened again. The all the stars aligned and they won that championship in 2022 or whatever that was, right? But they've been on a decline. Draymond has been on a decline for a long time in terms of his contributions. I think part of their problem and how you can tell that the Warriors have declined is start looking at their defensive percentages.
Mm-hmm.
At the time that they were really winning championships and dominating, they were one of the top defensive teams in the league.
Mm-hmm. They certainly were.
But now you don't see that anymore. Draymond, there's a reason Draymond has resorted to punching opposing centers in the head because he can't guard them.
Uh-huh.
And kicking them in the balls.
Right. Because before he could guard them, he could do all that stuff. He can't do that anymore. And really, that's what really led to a lot of his points.
Mm-hmm.
He was getting a lot of points in transition. Draymond's never been a 3-point shooter. He gonna get you the offensive. He gonna get you the rebound. He gonna get you the hustle plays, and he might get you 12. And then that kind of thing. But then once he started to decline, like Chuck said, he was a single man.
Mm-hmm.
Where at first he was getting triple doubles. So no, I think that the only way for them to really honestly get better is they're going to have to package some people.
We'll get to that
and try to get some draft picks. But I don't know, because of the fact that they've started to slide and not playing nearly as well. Who on their team can you really to kind of get to your question? I guess when I think about it, is who on their team can you really trade to get some draft capital for, or to get somebody you need in return? Like who was it really? Because I heard earlier before we got on, one I can't know who exactly it was, said something about Pascal Siakam.
So we'll talk about it in a minute.
Well, no, I'm saying going to the Warriors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's just kind of like I don't really know if that could really help them. So now I don't really see any kind of path for them. If they make the playoffs, it's going to be the play-in, or maybe the 8th seed if they can get healthy or something and get on a roll. But nah.
D-Dub?
Well, I think with any great team or championship team, there's a window. And just like all teams, Father Time catches up with you and that window eventually closes. It seemed like it just happened all of a sudden. I know the pool punch and all that stuff kind of accelerated everything, but I mean, who could have seen Wiggins declining as fast as he did? He fell off the map. I don't think he's starting anymore, is he? I think they took him out of the starting lineup.
Kuminga was starting.
He was back in the starting lineup.
Yeah, and then you got Clay, of course, he had the injuries, and so I think he's still in denial about his decline because that torn ACL and torn Achilles, it robs you of your defensive ability, to slide laterally. And then also you have the situation where he stopped, he had the Ray Allen thing where he was running around picks and running around screens, and he was a lot more athletic, so he lost that. So that hurt him. So his decline was rapid. Like Dorian mentioned, Draymond, his situation where he dropped off. He was a great role player, and he was never a big scorer. He could make a timely 3-pointer if left completely wide open. But now he's resorted to to all the antics, and like I said, I saw it the season when Steph and Clay were hurt, and Draymond was left there by himself. I mean, he did nothing. He didn't give the team anything. So he's kind of, I hate to say this, but he kind of rode the coattails of Steph and Clay. He did contribute. Don't get me wrong, but yeah. But it was good for him to be on their team.
Don't put it all on Draymond dudes. I'm gonna tell you one of the things we said. We talked about this, and Rodney, I think it was the episode maybe 18. Now we have to go back. It was expected. First of all, they 87. What you say, Dorian? What's our lottery numbers? 87, 88, 89, 90. Them motherfuckers old by the time catching up with them. But what was expected was Chris Paul to get motherfucking hurt. That also put them back. Another old dude we all know gonna get hurt. Got hurt. Draymond got suspended. Clay came back from his injuries. You know, Steph just gonna run around. He ain't got to play defense because ain't nobody else doing it. Steph gonna get his number. It's time to break it up.
And then you also have to look at it as far as the young guys they brought in were supposed to supplant these guys in the lineup, i.e. James Wiseman, Kuminga, Moses Moody. That never happened.
Let him go.
And
Let
that
go,
accelerated the decline.
Let them all go. That's what's wrong with them. That's the news.
So,
it's old right now.
The thing about it is, to me, it goes to the front office. Because what they were trying to do was, instead of, all right, so you got Steph, you got Clay, you got Draymond, and they got this window of opportunity where they can compete. And they were trying to keep that window open while also bringing in these young players to kind of be in the waiting in the wings to take over when they decided to get rid of them. They never committed one way or the other. Either you're gonna commit to doing what you got to do to keep this window open, or you're gonna commit to getting your young folks ready to go.
Oh, and I forgot to mention Poole, Rod.
Yeah,
he was supposed to be in that mix too.
Poole was supposed to be.
He got paid.
Yeah, he was supposed to be Steph.
Yeah,
right. They paid him like he was Steph, even though he played no defense whatsoever, never has.
Like Steph.
He would jack up 50-foot shots trying to be Steph. Now he can hit on occasion, but he's not Steph.
That's what they brought him. They brought him in to groom him to be Steph. We know he can't shoot like Steph. You just said it. They brought him in to be the next Steph.
So the problem was it was the front office thing. They never committed one way or the other, and they still haven't committed.
Because they won't let them old go. You let the old gives Poole them time to be your next Steph.
The biggest issue is when they drafted Wiseman instead of LaMelo Ball. LaMelo should have been the pick. You figure out what to do with him once you get him on there. But Wiseman played 2 games in college, right? They brought him in to talk about he's gonna be shooting from 3. Wiseman can never shoot threes. He didn't play defense. He couldn't rebound. He was too soft. He got pushed around all of it. He was just a wasted pick. And you can't waste number 2 picks at the Pistons.
And then you know what it makes me think about, Rod? It makes me think about Danny Ainge said the biggest lesson he learned from Red Auerbach. He said he once heard Red Auerbach said the biggest mistake he ever made was he held on to the big 3 too long. Larry Bird, McHale, and Parrish. And Ainge said when he heard that, he was shocked. He's like, what? But, being a great general manager, you have to make those decisions.
That's why Ainge traded Garnett. Traded Garnett and Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
He's like, look, hey, y'all gonna give me how many first round draft picks? Okay, well, let's go. Because
you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
The team wasn't winning.
Know when to run.
They wasn't winning when they had him in the first place. So hey, let me get what I can and move on. But see, now you can't trade Steph. I mean, well, you're not gonna trade Steph, but you can't trade Steph.
Ain't trading him with everybody.
I think somebody might kick the tires on Clay.
$$million.
I think somebody will kick the tires on Clay. I think they're going to be disappointed, but they're going to kick him.
But to trade for him, you got to give up a lot to get Clay, man.
Yeah.
It's hard coming up with $40 million in your team.
I think the Knicks will do it.
No. Mind you, I would love to have Clay on my team because that's what we need. We need a shooter.
Yeah, I think he might work with the Knicks.
That's all you got to do is shoot. But if they're not gonna take what's his name?
Fournier.
Fournier. If they're not gonna take Fournier and maybe Grimes, who I'm still pissed they didn't trade Grimes for Donovan Mitchell. That's my We gonna get to that in a minute. We get to that.
Yeah, get that in a minute.
I'll talk about that in a minute.
Moving
But
on.
that's what's up with Golden State. Another event that happened this week, we had a showdown of the big dudes, and for the first time I can remember them actually going against each other. Embiid showed why he is the reigning MVP in this game. So this was Dante. Dante,
What up?
Mr. I hate the NBA. Why you think Embiid got the best of Joker in that game?
I think he got the best of him in sarcasm, first of all. Well, and I just joke. I think Embiid got the best of media because he was being criticized more so for basically they were talking about how he was hiding from the Joker, this and that, and it came down to big games and stuff. You got to remember, we talking about the same guy, the defending MVP. He's the last two former MVPs, who's also looking at not even being eligible to make the All-Star team and stuff because of potential injuries and all that. So for him to come out and do what he did in that recent game for like 40-something points, and then the sarcasm at the end of the game, I thought was great for him to come out and call, the Joker, the greatest of all time and everything else. Great sarcasm. That's what basketball players do to each other. But like me and dudes was talking about earlier, first of all, just to see big men on the court. These are like dinosaurs, but these are true big men. That's why they're the last two MVPs. That's why they made the money. Or whatever that's out there. So it was great to see that because we talk about a dude. We, like I said, on Blame It on the Boogie, y'all. If y'all don't know, we never call this guy out by his full name.
You never call a guy out by his full name.
You got his nickname. So don't say that. You resorted. You know what to talk about, right?
You adopted the nickname, but we will call him DeAndre Ayton. That's you that refused to call him by his name.
Call him anything.
Refusals with Michigan. I refuse to put this up in Michigan. I refuse to do that.
Yeah, for Michigan. Yeah.
Hey, he is forever known. He will be monikered. He is the mediocre man. So, Rodney, if you, I had this. I want to show you something, Rodney. This was from the holiday. I was telling the boys about this. Everybody watching. You see the score. Phoenix played Portland. So, of course, that old rivalry. I was checking the box score. And if you see that, I pulled up the Trailblazers box score. Well, who name don't you see on there? Mediocre man. Neither mediocre man or his God-given name. Not down in the injured, nowhere to be found. So I'm like, man, what's going on with this dude? Well, that's what's going on with him, Rodney. Obviously, this has been longer than this was a couple weeks ago. But dude had missed 10 games. Motherfucker hadn't played since almost Christmas, Rodney. Talk about stealing money. Like I always said, that's what he was doing in Phoenix. That 20 and 10 y'all was so hype about. Look at his picture. Just cheesing right there. He's stealing money in Portland. Talking about his knee hurt. Nah.
Oh, there's the pearls.
The pearls. Y'all see what he is.
What is he?
So we talk about the Joker and Embiid and these big men down here banging. This dude ain't even nowhere on the court. Missing in action, right?
I ain't Charles Barkley banging them big men.
Banging down low.
Banging down, stop. Yeah, this dude, a buster, man. So we was up here talking about those Embiid and Joker, and it reminded me. You guys remember when I did that whole comparison of why he wasn't worth the money? And remember, Embiid and the Joker, those guys were on there, worth their money. This bum is still stealing money. So shout out to mediocre man, wherever you at, stealing money up in Portland, because he didn't want to play for like the whole month. I mean, what kind of load management is that, dudes? When you don't play, when you suck anyway. Why do you need load management when you already suck, dudes? Explain that to me, my brother.
He says knee hurt. But back to Joker and Embiid, like we said, we mentioned earlier, it's great to see, that some centers are actually excelling in the league. It kind of puts us back to those days in the 90s where we had Ewing, Olajuwon, David Robinson, Mutombo. Those are the good days, even though those guys don't play like these guys, but, these guys are a lot softer, but still, you get the picture.
Speaking of soft, too bad they got Wembanyama listed as a 7'8" small forward. I ain't never seen him go down and bang in the paint, as Chuck would say. He's been
about all these men banging each other.
Banging down low.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, as horrible as the Pistons are,
banging in the paint, little chubby.
hey, as horrible as the Pistons are, the big man down low, Jalen Duren,
And they are horrible.
that dude is a beast, man. He is a beast. He's gonna be the next. Well, once he actually learns how to shoot a nice jump shot. Once you get that jump shot down, where you gotta respect him to move away from the paint. Once he gets that shot down, man, he gonna be the best. Because, bro, I haven't seen anybody rebound like him since Andre Drummond. When Andre Drummond was getting 20 rebounds a game. That's what Duren is doing. He just turned 21, I think.
Hey, the Ben Wallace days are rebounded. That's what y'all miss. That's what y'all need up there. Hey, but speaking of a mediocre man and something he will never, ever be in the discussion of, and that's the All-Star voting. Rodney, why is the All-Star voting a joke?
Oh, that was Dorian got that information. Did you tell us about that?
Okay, so I saw a document in the Athletic that I forgot how it caught my eye. It said something about All-Star voting, something is wrong with the numbers or something was kind of the clickbait. But what he got into was about how, okay, so the fans vote the starters, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, the coaches get to choose the other 7 reserves. And then they have to choose 2 guards and then 5 other players, right? So it's like after the starters, if you look at the West, the guard possibilities in the West, right? What is it? Okay, it says, here we go. It says fan ballot voting for all-star starters closes on January the 20th, meaning we're 1 week away from starters being announced on TNT. Afterwards, the reserves will be selected by the coaches who choose 2 guards, 3 front court players, and 2 wildcard players.
Wildcard. What the kind of European basketball shit?
So right now, or at the time that this document was written, what was that? On the 8th, what's today? The 18th. So it was today, earlier today. In the West, it's Luka, Steph, LeBron, KD, and the Joker. In the East, it's Halliburton, but he's hurt. But Halliburton, Trae Young, Giannis, Jason Tatum, and Embiid. So what that leaves you, so in the West, with guards, remember you get 2 guards.
Mm-hmm.
That leaves you with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Anthony Edwards, James Harden, De'Aaron Fox, Devin Booker, Desmond Bane, Kyrie, and Jamal Murray to choose from.
Which guards would you take in that, D?
Shout out to James Harden, baby. We on that list. All right.
I don't know. I'd have to think about that. Off the top of my head, I'd probably go SGA and Anthony Edwards.
Told you I trust.
Because maybe I could use a wild card to get somebody else. But then check it out. So now in the front court players, you've got Gobert, Jalen Williams, Holmgren, Lauri Markkanen, Kawhi, Paul George, Sabonis, Zion, Brandon Ingram, Wembanyama. Of course, they're gonna have him in there, and Sengun. So now in the East,
we got
Jalen Brown, Derrick White, Tyrese Maxey, Donovan Mitchell, DeJounte Murray. And then in the front court, you got Porzingis, Scotty Barnes, Julius Randle, DeRozan, Siakam, Jimmy Butler, Bam, and Banchero. So it's like somebody.
You say Randall.
Yeah, Randall's name. They have Randall's name.
Make sure you say Randall.
Yeah, they said Randall.
The New York Knicks, Julius Randle was on that list.
Yes, of possibilities of who he would be reserved.
That's why, like you said, the All-Star voting is a joke. Just because Julius Randle is Rodney, I'm gonna rant for you, Rodney. I don't even want you to lose your breath, say your breath for next topic. It's a joke. Some of them
the Knicks have been winning, so we
Exactly.
Yeah.
Low key, he is deserving. He is deserving of an All-Star. Well, possibility to be there.
Where's my X-File? Rodney is actually praising Randall. Oh my God, you all right? The boy got a fever.
Hey, as long as we won tonight, so he don't.
Shout out! Stay
pretty good with us tonight.
Yeah, Rodney has a love-hate relationship with Randall. It's fluid.
Yeah, pretty much. But going to what dudes was saying, if we were to look at this in the West, Doncic and Curry, they're going to be two starters. LeBron, Jokic, and Durant are the four players. If you had to pick two more guards and what is it? How many people on the bench? You said 7 more?
3. 2 guards, 3 front court, 2 wild card.
All right, so give me 2 guards, give me 3 front court, and 2 wild cards.
Why they calling the centers wild cards?
Go ahead, dude.
And we talking about West, right?
We're talking about West.
Okay. Right. So my 2 guards would be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Kyrie.
Ooh. Okay. Now you got for the front court.
Front court.
Mediocre guys.
Kawhi Leonard.
Okay.
And AD.
Ooh, you got 3.
That's 4.
So I need another one.
You need one more.
You need one more front court person. You only chose
go ahead and
2.
give me
KD.
It's between Paul George and what's his name?
KD already a starter.
Yeah, he's a starter already. It's between Paul George and Ingram. Let's go Paul George.
Okay.
Dobrin?
Okay, I said Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Anthony Edwards.
Okay. Shoot, I forgot Anthony Edwards. He's one of my wild cards.
Front court, I go Kawhi Leonard. I don't know. I'm torn between Brandon Ingram and Zion because I did also choose them to be.
But Zion only had 1 rebound the other night, so I'm angry at him.
But Kawhi, Brandon Ingram, and I don't know why AD's name is not on here.
Yeah, AD's been playing great.
Yeah, you gotta get the AD.
Yeah, and I would go AD would be my 3, and then my wild cards would be Zion and Kyrie.
Mine would be Anthony Edwards and Fox.
All right, I'm going. Again, SGA is a no-brainer. He got to be on there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And my other one, I gotta go Anthony Edwards for my other guard.
I don't know how I forgot him.
Front court, as much as everybody want to dog out AD, man, AD has been balling this year. You got to give it to him. And the inventor of load management, Kawhi Leonard, has been balling.
Yeah,
hasn't. I think he only missed 1 game this year.
No load management.
1, maybe 2.
Yeah. Now I'm going. You got to give it to Sengun, man. He has been. The brother get 20 and 10 every night.
Mediocre.
The only thing about him is, he playing on Houston, but he has been balling. So those.
So you put him in over who though?
Over Paul George.
Over Paul George and Brandon Ingram and.
Yeah. Now I'm coming back with my 2 wild cards. Paul George, and I'm torn between going with Harden, definitely not Harden.
You want Harden for the Knicks?
In the Kyrie Irving or I might have to go Ingram, man.
Go with Kyrie, man. Kyrie's great to watch in an All-Star game. He's flashy.
But a consensus, we all say SGA should be in there. Mm-hmm. We also said AD and Kawhi.
See, so here go mine. My guards at the point guard. I'm having a system. Shout out ASU, James Harden bringing the rock up, and he gonna be tossing the ball off to my shooting guard, Devin Booker. Then down in that paint somewhere.
Now is Harden gonna have his fat suit on, or what he gonna do?
Trust the system. Down in the paint down there somewhere. AD, we agree. I like AD. Got to get our boy in there. Come on, dudes. Got to get Porzingis on the list, man. Come on, man. Shout out to Porzingis in Boston. And then Kawhi. Kawhi is balling.
You do know Porzingis is in the East, right?
Oh, excuse me. That's right. I did have him on my East side. So that's going to up somebody for me right to that spot. That's going to be Paul George. Basically, where I'm going with this, it's almost a Clipper squad. I'm looking at, I've got James Harden, Kawhi, and Paul George. Like you said, Porzingis is out in the East. And AD. So AD, Kawhi, and Paul George. And right there, you already got 3 Clippers and the Phoenix Sun. Then as the wild card or whatever they call him, I want Kyrie out there. And what's the kid name? Excuse me, I can see his face up in Minnesota.
Edwards.
Anthony Edwards. That's my
Hey, did you notice did none of us say Devin Booker?
I did.
Oh, you did?
I said for my shooting guard. Said James Harden gonna be passing the ball to Devin Booker at the shooting guard. Then AD, Kawhi, Paul George, Kyrie, and Anthony Edwards. That's my squad.
Yeah, I'm looking at this Timberwolves Grizzlies game right now.
So
what about the East, Rod?
All right, so in the East, I got to figure out how to get Trae Young off of this. starting this lineup.
The kids love Trae Young, and Trae Young loves the kids.
Hey, that's the
He love the kids.
I don't agree with this Trae Young thing.
Population thing, because they're just the population East Coast or something. There's no reason why Trae Young should be on this damn list.
But the kids voted him in. They love him.
Because that's all they see in the East.
It really makes my because I got to pick 2 guards. It makes it difficult because Donovan Mitchell has been straight balling.
Mm-hmm. You ain't got to put Trae Young on your list.
Yeah, you do.
He's already on there. So
that's the problem. This true, right? That's why.
So you got to have Donovan Mitchell now. I got to put Brunson.
Yeah, you got to have Brunson. I agree.
But see, that leaves Tyrese Maxey off. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the hurdle.
That's the problem.
You got to get Maxey on there some kind of way.
You got a wild card. Hold on.
I'm going Randall, Bam, and Jaylen Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my 3 front court. Now, as my wild, you said 2 wild cards, right?
Yep.
Then I'm bringing Maxey back.
Mm-hmm.
And
Carl Dorian.
It depends on if Jimmy is healthy or not. If Jimmy healthy, I'm putting him on. If he's not, I'm going Banchero.
Well, who?
Paulo Banchero.
Duke player.
So you would put Dame on there, right?
Dame in the East, man. But I can't. I can't. Who's spot he gonna take?
What? No, I'm just asking. What? I agree with you though.
Which one will get hurt first?
So that's what I do.
That's who you remove. Whichever one is subject to get hurt first, that's the one you remove.
I got let me see. Let me go down the list here. I got a Brunson.
Because the
East gotta have
Brunson and Maxey.
Oh, you want Max? Okay.
Yeah, I do got to listen in.
Let me see who else.
They got to represent my.
Got to go with Jaylen Brown. I mean, I'm just.
Yeah.
Boston.
I got to get Boston in there.
Boston.
So Brunson, Maxey, Jaylen Brown, Bam.
Bam. Okay.
I would go with Butler, but Butler's been hurt a lot, so I'm gonna go with Bam.
Nobody that's been hurt or subject to be hurt on your all-star voting. People don't understand that.
Now, who else?
Got two more.
Who am I missing?
You said Jaylen Brown.
I said Maxey.
You got one more front court. You said Brown and Bam. Who else you got in the front court?
I'm going with Porzingis.
Okay.
No, I got to get the Boston people in there.
All right, so now you got your 2 wild cards.
My 2 wild cards are in the East. I'm struggling. You already know I want to add my Boston players, but I got to be honest because the Knicks have been playing great.
Drew ain't all-star worthy this year, man.
Nah, not this year. Oh man.
Well, Rodney, why dudes still think
this gonna hurt? This gonna hurt. I'm gonna say Randall.
What about Spider?
Yeah, Randall and Spider. I go with that. I don't want to add Randall, but
I'm gonna keep
it is what it is.
Randall been balling, man.
Yeah, he has. That's what I said. I don't want to add him, but he's been playing good. He's been playing great. Him and Brunson.
Outside of, I'm gonna keep mine real easy. I agree with dudes on 2 of the Celtics, so Brown and Porzingis. I agree with him with Maxey, and other than that, the East sucks. So I don't care who they put out there; they're gonna get their asses balled.
Who you got, D?
In the East,
I got guards. I got Dame and Donovan Mitchell. Front court, Porzingis, Randall, and Banchero. And then for my wild card, I got
That was hard.
well, okay. So what it comes down to is between Brunson for me and Maxey. Well, actually,
Brunson has been carrying his team, so I mean,
it comes to me between Brunson and so I really would take Brunson, and then my other wild card. So then that takes my other wild card down to because I don't want to choose Maxey and have another guard. Then I got a whole bunch of kind of short guards.
But Maxey deserves.
You got Drake. That's the problem. It's the Trae Young thing in the starting lineup.
That would give. So then I would take. Now it comes down to between Jimmy Butler and Pascal Siakam.
Who's subject to be hurt?
Y'all punishing Maxey, man. Maxey's having a great year.
I agree with you. It's 50-50, dudes.
I would have to say.
And Jimmy Butler's been hurt all year.
Exactly.
So, all right, D. My question is,
and here we are with that question.
As good of a player as Dame is Dame really deserving of an all-star spot this year?
He's playing great lately, though, but he hadn't early in the year.
Yeah,
What?
That's the only one I don't agree with.
Is Trae Young deserving of a starting spot? So that's not
a discussion. Trae is voted in by the fans. We're not voting for Trae.
I'm saying that's why the question there, like I said, the statement, the all-star voting is a joke. That's what we're discussing. That's why it's a joke. We're up here having to figure out whether or not to put Dame Dollar on a list, even though he's at a down, just because of who the fuck he is. He should be on there. Trae Young ain't done. What has he done for Atlanta? Nothing. So like that's what with Dorian's Hall.
That's a popularity contest to start a lineup. So
voting is a freaking joke. Just like that in-season tournament was a freaking joke. So with that being said, Rodney, unless you got any closing arguments or anything else,
we're gonna leave the all-star voting away. So again, the only question I had is Dame actually deserving of an all-star spot? That's really the only question.
I don't think so this year.
The problem we have with this whole thing is that
Trae Young.
Fans are voting Trae Young in as a starter. Trae Young should be nowhere close to the All-Star game this year. Where's the All-Star game? Is it Utah?
No,
Indiana.
Indianapolis.
Naptown. That's why I was trying to get y'all to go, but y'all wouldn't listen.
He shouldn't be nowhere close to Indianapolis come February. Unless
So
they got a game.
We already
But-
consist that the MVP, the All-Star voting in the NBA is
The All-Star vote is a joke.
garbage. We're moving on.
In this
Move right
garbage.
along. Let us move
we're gonna
on.
stay in the NBA. We're gonna stay in the NBA. In 3 weeks now, we have the NBA trade deadline. It's coming hot and heavy on us, fellas. It started off a couple weeks ago when the Knicks made one of the first trades of the trade season, trading for OG Obanobi.
There we go. Milojevic. See how easy that was, right?
Listen, man, it's getting late. The Knicks made the first trade with Toronto, getting whatever the boy name is.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, motherfucker.
Boy, you sound like Foghorn Leghorn up there, stuttering.
Hey, y'all,
I think.
Oh my God.
all I'm drinking is Mountain Dew, y'all. That's all I got.
You need to put something in that Mountain Dew. Take a drink.
I need to do something.
Woo.
Stutter.
Dude from the Knicks made a trade.
He made a trade, and we got him from Toronto.
Yeah, that dude.
And then the
Cat got his
Pistons,
tongue.
the Pistons of all teams, made the next big trade, and that was trading Marvin Bagley Jr. Marvin Bagley III, and Isaiah Livers, who is actually considered the worst basketball player in all of the NBA.
Who was it?
And that's actually true. That he is actually, by the numbers, the worst basketball player in the NBA.
What's his
But
name?
they traded them to Washington for Mike Muscala and Danilo Gallinari.
Gallinari, yeah.
Sorry. Rodney, who is the guy you just said is the worst in the NBA? I missed that.
Isaiah Livers, man.
Livers.
Isaiah who?
Livers.
Isaiah Livers, man. He
Like
played in Michigan. He's been with the Pistons for 2 years, and he has been. What's that? The little graph that the little thing you just showed, the hot garbage. That's
garbage juice.
That he is garbage freaking juice, man. He is absolutely the worst player in the NBA. He can't play defense because he's too slow. There you go.
Garbage juice.
He was supposed to be a great shooter, but he's shooting like 20%. He has been just horrible. But for whatever reason, he must have pictures of somebody or something. But for whatever reason, Monty Williams will continue to play this dude. No matter how much the fans fussed and cussed and made noise, he still played this dude. That's why I say he must have pictures of somebody. But finally, he's gone. So that was
career, trade. For his career, he's averaging 6.2 points, 2.6 rebounds, 0.9 assists, 0.6 steals, 0.4 blocks. Or he shoots 35.8% from 3-point range and 40.7%.
Hey, look, we can't continue giving sorry players airtime on our show. Y'all giving them too much airtime to be sorry.
Y'all call.
So he go. But the big trade.
We don't need. You right though, dude. We shouldn't be giving sorry people all this airtime. But that's just funny.
The big trade occurred yesterday.
Is Dorian smoking a cigarette?
Did he smoke a cigarette?
What the hell is that joint?
This is candy.
I thought it was a cigarette.
I'm like, you dude.
I'm like, puff, pass, fool. What you doing?
It looked like one of them long Paul Mars that Mr. Joe used to smoke.
So anyway, the big trade occurred yesterday, and that was Toronto sending Pascal Siakam to the Indiana Pacers for Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown and 3 first-round draft picks, 2 in 24 this year, and then 1 in 26. But also part of that trade the New Orleans Pelicans traded Kyra Lewis and was it David Nawara, whatever his name is?
Yeah, Nawara.
And then then the Pacers traded those two players to Toronto also. So Toronto for Siakam, who can be a free agent come July. But they traded Siakam. They got 3 first-round draft picks. And they got 3 players. The Pacers got Siakam, and all the Pelicans got was money. They got cash considerations, but they were trying to they had to get rid of Kyrie Lewis because with his salary come the end of the year, they would have been over in the luxury tax, and nobody wants to pay the luxury tax. So they had to drop some salary, and that's what they did. They didn't get a draft pick, they didn't get nothing. They just got cash considerations. Like, here, just take it. Mm-hmm. We don't want nothing back, just take it. So here's the question. Well, first, we're going to talk about the Pacers. With the addition of Siakam, where would you put the Pacers in the East right now?
4th. Final answer.
I would say probably about 4th. I actually been watching the Pacers a lot lately. You know, Halliburton's become one of my new favorite players. But I think the Siakam trade will definitely move the needle for the Pacers. But you know, they still won't supplant Boston, Milwaukee, Philly. They're not going to supplant those teams. I mean, the Knicks. It'll be a toss up between them and the Knicks, I believe, as far as the 4th team.
So as it stands right now, the Pacers are 7th, a half a game back of Miami, who's a half a game back of the Knicks, who's a half a game back from the Cavaliers. So a game and a half separates 4 through 7. Boston is first, 4 games up on the Bucks, and 5 games up on the Sixers. So y'all got them 4th. So you got them above Cleveland?
Yeah, I got them above Cleveland. I think I got the Knicks above Cleveland too. I think 4th is a toss-up between the Knicks and the Pacers. And if you held me to it, I would probably say, I hate to say this.
Say it, dude.
I can't say it. I'm going with the Pacers over the Knicks.
Say it.
I ain't gonna say it. I gave Knicks too much credit. I gave Randall All-Star game.
Stop lying to our public and say the truth. Tell them that the Knicks are at worst the 4th best team in the league. Say it, man.
The Knicks are number 5. You're in.
So do what you think.
See, I don't know. Well, first of all, you know, it depends on how Halliburton comes back from this injury.
He's young. He could come back from a hamstring strain.
I don't know if Siakam really propels them. Well, it is only a half game separating. And what they a game and a half behind Cleveland for the 4th spot. So I would say it's possible since you know they're only a game and a half back that I would say Siakam is worth a game and a half in the standings. I don't know. Again, that's just because they're so close between the 7th seed and the 4th seed.
So
and Toronto obviously is definitely rebuilding.
Toronto's definitely rebuilding. They got RJ Barrett and quickly from my Knicks. You said what?
I'm sorry, man. I'm sitting here looking at this Timberwolves Grizzlies game, and everybody just jacking up threes. That's all, just coming down from 3.
Yeah, you don't even want to talk about that. I was watching a Hornets game the other night, and I had to shut it off.
You had to shut it off?
Man, everybody was just jacking up threes.
Oh no,
that's the NBA though. That's the NBA. But anyway,
for everybody, real quick, Rodney.
Y'all giving this guy too much airplay on this show.
Real talk. I didn't know who he was. And Rodney says he's the one. Like, damn, somebody worse than DeAndre. I almost said his name. Somebody worse than Mediocre, man. Like, really? The worst? So I had to look him up. What do you know? He went to Michigan. Rodney, so you said maybe he got pictures on somebody? He might know Connor Stallions. He might know Connor Stallions. Michigan, they got pictures, but he's in the NBA. And those are the only 2 photos I could find of this guy. So he must be the worst player in the NBA. I had never heard him before, Rodney.
We go. I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna leave Isaiah Livers alone, never to be talked about on our program ever again.
Okay.
He's bringing down our value.
You guys his real name. I won't bring up Isaiah Livers' name anymore.
He was a 2nd-round draft pick. He came in, he was hurt when they drafted him. Why they drafted him, nobody knows. But because they drafted him, they gave him a 2-year contract, brought him in. He was hurt the whole first year. He played last year and he started off good, was hitting shots. If you look at his stats for this year, D, it's nowhere close to the number that you said. This year he's been just horrible. Like I said, no defense, no rebounds. He doesn't do anything. As they say, they used to say, master all trades.
Yet he's still, we still talking about him.
Yeah, we still talking about him. We still talking about him. But anyway,
there you go.
Last thing about the trade deadline, we got a couple of names that are still out there, have been floated out there as potential trade targets, and one being DeJounte Murray from Atlanta, the other one being Zach LaVine from the Bulls. Where do you think these guys will go or should go?
Well, I know Rodney wants Zach LaVine in New York.
I'm a Murray fan, so I would like to see Murray go to. I think if he went to New York, I might actually give New York that number 4 spot, right?
I was going to give New York the number 4 spot with LaVine because I know Rodney's been wanting LaVine in New York since the beginning of the season.
Yeah, right. That would be cool if LaVine went to New York. That would be cool.
So I'm going to go ahead. He'll put you in that 4th spot, maybe the 3rd spot in the East, Rodney. They can pull that move off. I want to see Rodney compete against me and Dudes' Boston Celtics. And if it works out that way, for in NBA Eastern Conference Finals, that would be awesome, dudes.
But what were they? They were talking about Murray going somewhere. I know they even brought up him going back to the Spurs. I was like, what?
No, that's crazy. But the Lakers want him. But the problem with the Lakers, man, the Lakers want everybody.
Yeah, that would be a bad move. As long as I was talking to my son about it, as long as LeBron's there, and the point guard would never help.
Yeah, because
the point guard is going to be told to go stand in the corner and become a spot up 3-point shooter. So as long as LeBron's there,
he never go to the Lakers, man. He ain't gonna do no be a spot up shooter.
Yeah, so it's not gonna work.
So dude said something earlier. And I got the email too, dudes. I got the email. And what the email was telling me is that I think I want to trade with Golden State, man. I think I want Clay on the Knicks. With Clay on the Knicks, man, bruh. Hey, y'all better watch out.
I think that'd be a good move.
Y'all better watch out, man. Because he has the one trait that none of my team has. And that's the ability to actually shoot from the outside.
Yeah. Clay or Zach LaVine, I think, will be best for the Knicks.
I like Zach, and I would love for Zach to be on the Knicks, but the last couple of years, man, Zach just can't stay healthy. And he got that $225 million contract. That's the biggest issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, Clay with the Knicks would be. Yeah, Clay with the Knicks would be great. You know, he'll add, create more spacing for Brunson, because Randall's been trying to create spacing with his 3-point shooting, and
no, see, that's
big ass down there. Hey, but
Clay would be great.
Before we transition out of basketball, you said something, dudes, reminded me of something you sent. regarding standing in corners, but I don't know about standing in corners. Dude, explain this to all our viewers.
Well, apparently a fan decided it'd be a great idea to take a photo op with Derrick Rose while he was busy. Let's say busy.
What the fuck? Who does that? Who raises?
Bro,
who does that, my man, right?
As a man, it's one thing that you do not do, and that's watch another man when they're in the bathroom. And you see them.
It's like getting in line for their only pisser and decided, you know what, I'm gonna take a picture of them pissing. There's
so,
no more.
So answer this question, fellas. So answer this question. It's halftime, and you have to go real bad, but Derrick Rose comes in the bathroom. Do you let him go before you?
Oh no, you
let him cut the line.
No,
you got to wait, man.
No.
Now, what is that noise in the background?
I don't hear anything.
What it sound like?
Wait a minute, hold on.
Imitate.
Oh, okay. I figured out what it is. I'm sorry. I was looking up Isaiah Livers, and one of those little things came up on the side. Little videos came up on the side, and I was like, "Wait a minute, what is that?" But that was what that was. Okay, never mind.
But nah, dude, you gotta get in line like the rest of the fellas.
That was OnlyFans advertising just flew across his computer screen.
So y'all making D Rose stand in line after all he's done?
Where was D Rose that he was in the bathroom in his full team gear? Did he just go to the one by the hot dog stand? Don't they have a locker room?
Well, yeah. Let me leave. I was about to say another joke. Let me leave that alone.
He's not just a casual fan.
This superb. Who does that? And like, is that the only urinal in whatever bathroom? This is at a arena, I'm assuming. Maybe it was at a bar.
You would think the players would have a private bathroom.
Like I said, I don't know. It looked like a gas station bathroom.
Remember the players? It was some say where the players go a different way, but they pass by the fans like at halftime.
I
think that's what Westbrook had a confrontation with somebody once.
Dude, look.
Hey, D, that's the new way of saying MVP.
Wait, check it out, y'all. You see, look what's going on. There's a guy, you see the feet. That's the natural spacing. There's a guy, urinal to
the urinal in between.
There's an empty urinal to the right of D Rose, the space, which is why the guy to the right of D Rose is waiting, because there's apparently a wall next to that urinal to the right. But who's the motherfucker behind all them taking a picture and he's sitting in a D Rose picture? That's why this is fucked up.
Why are we doing play-by-play of D Rose going to the bathroom?
Is.
Hey, what Dick Vitale said? What did Dick Vitale say? He's a PTPer.
We gonna break it down. Dude sent it to us like, what the hell was this?
We got color analysis of D Rose going to the bathroom.
He's a PTPer.
Based on whoever phone that was, who is dude that clip. That was crazy, bro. It's 3 other dudes in the bathroom. He's standing back taking pictures of motherfuckers pissing. So anyway, getting off of basketball, D Rose can't even take a leak without motherfuckers out here stalking. Football. Y'all see that?
Start it off with Dante's favorite team.
That ain't my team. Don't make me go it, Rodney. That ain't my team. You see on the screen.
No, leave the gourd.
Don't make me get out the gourd. I'll keep it simple.
We straight down.
That's not the gourd. That's my pen collector. Y'all don't want the gourd.
No, we don't.
Yeah. No, we don't. You're right.
Not at all. But anyway, today,
y'all see this today? There is on the clock.
This has been a long time coming, though. This has been a long time coming.
It's about time.
It was determined that during an investigation by the NFL that it was a toxic workplace in Phoenix at the headquarters of the Arizona Cardinals. I'm surprised it took them this long to actually start releasing people because this thing that report came out during the summertime.
Mhm.
And here we are at the end of the season, and they just now, letting the people go. But they did have to go in there. They fired who they fired? The
top brass.
You said all the top brass?
Pretty much all the top brass. The new Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Jeremy Walls, went and got rid of people that have been there 15 and 20 years. But the problem is, as my astute brother Rodney would say, here's the issue I have with this whole thing, right? This is why I threw it up there. I don't give a freaking fuck about the Cardinals, right? But because of what you mentioned, the culture, the investigation, everything was going on. Well, the individuals, family, that was the key focus and center of all this was Bidwell.
The Bidwells, who are the owners of the Arizona Cardinals. Well, good.
Right. And that's what all this was focusing back on, was the Bidwell's culture, his family, and how he treated people and everything else. People he brought in. So he basically brought in Mr. Jeremy Walls to be the bad guy, to fire all these other 3-4 individuals or whatever, these top brass people that have been there 15 and 20 years, been around through the thick and thin. He got rid of his guys. That would be like me getting rid of you guys to get the blame away from what the real problem is. And that's the Bidwells and their family. But because the Arizona Cardinals, St. Louis Cardinals, Chicago former team have been in the NFL so long, nobody ever talks about this anymore, especially ever since the Cardinals went to the Super Bowl. The Bidwells need to sell the team. They're only worth like $3.5 billion. I mean, that's a discount. They've been mismanaged for over 3 decades. Hey, I've been out here almost 2 decades. They sucked when they was back home in St. Louis. They sucked when they was in Chicago. Come on. That's what nobody's talking about. So when I saw that, I just started laughing like, yeah, Kyler, yeah, you'll probably be there. They ain't changing no culture or nothing around there. It's still the same owners. So that's why I wanted to throw that up there to get y'all opinion about that whole move and firing your top brass.
So not only should Arizona be forced to sell, the Bidwells be forced to sell because they have the stuff that was coming out of reports, man. It was all kind of stuff. It was racial stuff. It was sexual stuff. You name it, they had issues. And it started. Well, it didn't start. It was from the top down, from the owners on down. And that, white privilege, billionaires, they think they can do whatever they want to do and say whatever they want to say, whatever they want to do it. So, and it fostered a horrible atmosphere. So they should be gone. Another owner that should be gone is the freaking owner of the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about this.
Jim Irsay needs to be gone, man.
That man, he needs an intervention.
How many times does his brother have to damn near kill himself before they decide, you know what, we might need to step in and do something?
We need to take a stand.
In December, Jim Irsay, for like the 5th time, was found unconscious and due to a drug overdose.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, 4.
How many times do you have to continue to allow this man to do this? And the thing about it, all it does,
Rodney, is going to continue until the judge in Indiana is changed. That's why. That's how many times. That's how many times. If you change the judge that's getting his case, you will get Irsay out of that ownership box. That's the problem. He's bought everything. He bought everybody. Any other owner would have already had to sell the team from the NBA, like they did with the old what's that? What's the new owner out there? The Clippers. Wasn't that the team? Yeah. Sterling. In baseball, they made more shots, sell her team. Yeah. White privilege. 5 times, bro. He should have had to sell the team. what's going on with the owners. But like you said, that's part of the problem. These good old boy network, Rodney. You know, we don't like that shit around here.
And the thing is, they're quick to get rid of. Oh God! Oh, he missed. They're quick to get rid of a player, a coach, anybody like that for having a DUI.
You see in Arizona,
right? They're having a DUI. They're quick to do that, but for this owner, they act like they can't do nothing. And the thing is, you just own a franchise. And it ain't like franchises haven't been taken from other people in other walks of life. For forever. You know, if you don't follow the rules of the group, they can take that franchise away from you. And again, how many second chances is this man gonna get?
Second, that's his fifth.
I know, that's what I'm saying. How many seconds?
How many seconds? So I guess you get one more second. All I know is writing.
I don't like that shit. For sure, bro. I don't like that shit.
I don't like that white person.
I'm sitting here reading this report where in a November interview on Real Sports, I got this. This is from CNN. In a November interview with Real Sports on HBO, Irsay said he's been to rehab at least 15 times and had previously overdosed after mixing multiple drugs at the same time.
Party like a rock star.
15 times he's going to rehab.
That is the quintessential definition of white privilege, y'all, in America. So I don't even want to spend no more time talking about him.
But back to the thing about Arizona. Interestingly enough, all of the people that were fired were non-football operations.
I know, they're all executives.
None of it had anything. They had literally, they moved their non-football operations. They moved them out of the practice facility and into another place, into another workspace. So everybody that got fired, what basically what they're trying to do
is save some money.
Is separate non-football from football. They don't want what has happened with their non-football operations for somebody to come in and try to say, no, you can't own this franchise anymore because of what it's doing to the NFL brand. It's like, them over here, they're not football. They don't have anything to do with football. What they were doing doesn't have anything to do with what's going on in our football operations.
Them was exactly right, Lord. He had to cut his boys loose instead of himself. That would be like our boy down there in Memphis playing basketball with his crew and everything, get in trouble. You got to let go of your boy so get the focus off of you. That's you damn right, though. That's exactly what happened. He had to cut loose his losses and shit from his little circle of buddies that been there down there with a bad culture. So he had to and we got a new facility. I was like, first I thought they was trying to cut salary. They pay for the new facility. You don't got to do it like Dorian said. That's what it come down to. Because of the investigation and everything else, these just a bunch of old guys who've been there for a long time. The good old boy network making the Cardinals continue to be bad.
But like you said, all they were doing was trying to make the optics look right. Because they were, even though they weren't quote unquote football employees, they still over the football activities. So all they did was they moved them to another. We got this office space across town. We're gonna put them all there. So now I can say, well, now it's two separate entities.
But see, this is the thing though. Like literally, so you got the chief. Yeah, you got the one guy, like you said, Greg Lee, who's the CFO. But the other person was vice president of business development. The other person was vice president of digital content. Another person was the senior vice president for corporate partnerships. So it's something that's like almost completely, they have nothing to do with football almost. So
that's the football team.
Yeah, right. They don't have anything to do with what's going on in the locker room. This ain't nothing that's happening in the actual facility among the players. This is not anything like Washington where the cheerleaders and all that. So they like, y'all, this ain't got nothing to do with what's happening here at this facility with the football team. This is something completely different. That's what I think that they're trying to do.
Yep, the top brass, and that's part of the culture. So we're gonna see it. But the problem is Mr. Bitwell himself. But speaking of coaches, changing shit around.
Hold on. It's just like what they did with Snyder, right? But Snyder did only difference is Snyder didn't try to differentiate two entities.
I forgot about
that because he didn't separate the entities. That's how they were able to get him out. So Bidwell, even though he's a horrible owner, he ain't stupid. He figured, okay, you know what? This is what they've been talking about Snyder. Well, let me do this. Let me move these people to a whole completely different area, different office. So I can say, well, no, it ain't the football. So you can't get me for football. It's this other thing over here. So it was a good move, calculated risk, and it worked out for him. At least as of right now, he's able to keep his team.
But speaking of making moves out there and coaches around football, what's on the list, Rodney?
Boy, Dante and his little teases. So anyway, this is the time of year in the NFL where families are forced to move, lives are torn apart, and that's because coaches are hired and coaches are fired. But an NFL coach, as the saying goes, is hired to be fired. So it's not something that's not already expected. So with that being said, there's like 9. There were 9 openings. One has already been filled, and that's the New England Patriots job. New England hired their first African American coach, Dejan Milojevic, to be their next head coach following Bill Belichick. But they're still Atlanta, San Diego, Seattle.
Hey, they're not in San Diego anymore. The LA Chargers. I know they back to San Diego. They need their identity back.
Go back to San Diego. They need to go back to San Diego. Okay, so let's start over. There's
Seattle,
Atlanta, Seattle, LA Chargers, the Washington Commanders, the Carolina Panthers,
Oakland Raiders,
the Tennessee Titans, the Las Vegas Raiders, and who's the other team?
Tennessee.
He said Tennessee.
So that's 7 left. Maybe there's 8 openings instead of 9.
I think there's 8.
Okay, there's 8 openings.
And one of them is filled.
One has been filled. There's still 7 openings. Those 7 openings, there are 3 basically high-profile coaches. One being the second winningest coach of all time, and that's Bill Belichick. One being the reigning NCAA championship coach, and that's Jim Harbaugh. And then the third being a player's coach, and that is Mike Vrabel. That's out there. And then you have, your assistant coaches that are looking to be head coaches this year. You have the college coaches that maybe get some interviews or what have you. But what I found interesting with this current cycle, you have Dejan Milojevic in New England, but Mayo was really already pegged for the last 3 years to be the heir apparent to Bill Belichick. So I can't really say a whole lot about him. They already knew who they were going to get. In Las Vegas, you have Antonio Pierce, who was the coach for the last 7, 8 games or what have you, that the players absolutely love, that they want to keep there. But other than that, other than those 2 guys, there's only been one other African American assistant to even get a sniff or even an interview, and that's Aaron Glenn from the Detroit Lions. So my question is, isn't there a Rooney Rule where every team has to at least interview, now it's 2 minority candidates before you make a hire? Why is it that we haven't heard about these minority candidates minorities being candidates for these different positions?
Same reason Irsay is still an owner of an NFL team. Good old boy network. That's my quick and easy answer.
Yeah. Well, we haven't heard them advertise, or say that this particular coordinator's been interviewed for this position or this particular. I haven't heard anything that yet.
You don't have to advertise it. That's the other thing about it too. It could be some stuff understated. We don't know what's going on. So that's part of it.
Because we've only kind of heard about these big name coaches that have gone in for these interviews or whatever. I wonder if anybody else has been interviewed for them. But at the same time, I say that I still say my answer was going to be because there aren't any black coaches that they're going to hire in the first place.
And that
was really going to be my answer, is that there aren't any that they really intending on hiring anyway. So.
And that was my point I was gonna make. You pulled that one right up from under me. The problem every year we always talk about. People always talk about. We've been talking about for a year, but they're always talking about the Rooney Rule. What the Rooney Rule says is that for any head coach position in the NFL, you have to at least interview 2 minority candidates. For any coordinator position, you have to at least interview 1 minority candidate. And a lot of times you get these token interviews. I got a quality control person on my team, on my coaching staff, that's a African-American dude. I'm going to interview him, knowing I'm not going to hire him, but I'm going to interview him anyway, just so I can satisfy the Rooney Rule. So you hear about this stuff every year. But this year, you don't hear about any of this. I haven't heard about any, even token interviews, which kind of, it's disappointing because, again, out of these 8 or 9 different head coaching positions, you can't even find quality candidates to try to interview, or that at least that's what you're saying. Dante with my conspiracies. I'm Dante. But yeah, there's something that's going on, and the problem I have is that nobody's talking about it. Where are these candidates? Where are these interviews? At least let the brothers interview. You're not even giving them interviews. And these, I don't consider Zoom interview as an interview. For you to just call me up on Zoom and say, "Okay, we talked to you on Zoom, we interviewed you, but you didn't come to the stadium, you didn't show me your plan, you didn't do nothing, we just talked to you, and then you count that as an interview." That's not an interview to me. That's just a waste of everybody's time. You already know that you're not going to attempt to hire this person.
Well, I think, Rodney, you mentioned a good point. First of all, you got to narrow. Let's break it down. First of all, I used to have that list. I don't have it with me. Remember, I had that whole list of all the coaches and all the assistants and everything. And I specifically had the black coaches identified in all those. But so we need to break it down by how many assistant coaches are there. I'm talking black coaches out there. First of all, on winning teams, I think you mentioned one, and that being Detroit. I think they have their offensive coordinators, black, if I'm mistaken.
Defense.
Okay, defense. Well, so we won't hear about him interviewing because obviously he's still in the playoffs. So you scratch him off. Then you mentioned the Commanders. Well, we know the offensive coordinator may have already interviewed internally. So I'm waiting to see if Washington interviews someone from this list I'm trying to compile. So that's 2 black coaches I can think of. We got AP out there with the Raiders. So that's, again, another internal interview. So that's 3. So I guess my question is, how many other black coaches out there, whether it be quality coaches, whatever they may be, that we are aware of? So that's the thing we really got to focus on. And that's what's been pushed back. We talked about this all last season of how more deserving black assistant coaches aren't getting their chance or their due. They're being pushed back down again. And like I said, this is under the rug. It ain't no conspiracy. It's under the rug again. This is what I've been saying all along about the NFL, what we talked about when it comes to not only hiring black coaches from ownership and everything else. So if you can name me more than 5 potential black candidates, and 3 of them I just named, that's why you don't really see perhaps them employing the Rooney Rule, and we're assuming that. Again, there's all kind of ways to interview people. There may be candidates on team in the playoffs. We don't know. But you bring up a great point. That's where we should start at. How many true valid candidates, African-American coaches or any other minority coach, are actually out there that are qualified, first and foremost, to be a head coach of any NFL team? So we have to start there first before we start pointing blame at the Rooney Rule. I understand we need some interviews, and I hope that some of these coordinators from some of these teams who aren't hearing about they're on winning teams or losing teams. But before we start blaming the Rooney Rule, that's what we need to focus on too. How many truly qualified minority coaches, in particular African-American coaches, are there actually out there that would be able to take over a team? And I just said we know 2 of them right now.
Go ahead, D.
No, it's just I would just be piggybacking off what you all said in terms of when we start, as I was saying before, I don't think that they had any intentions on hiring them. I think, but the interesting thing is that we're also not seeing African American coaches being groomed for coordinator positions.
And that's the biggest issue.
AP went from being the linebacker coach. You had D'Amico Ryans. Don't get me wrong. Again, back in the day, you had Marvin Lewis. That was defensive coordinator. Romeo Crennel, that was a defense coordinator. But you can't really name, and then think of how long it took before we could name a black offensive coordinator. Which is where a lot of these coaching jobs were going to in the first place, was the offensive coordinators. So black coaches at the lower levels, at the running back, the running backs coach, the wide receiver coach, they're not becoming quarterbacks coach, who ends up becoming the offensive coordinator, who ends up becoming head coach. They're not even going, that route, that direction. So it's almost back in the day. It's almost still the idea of the black man can't run your team.
Yep.
You don't have enough faith in that kind of leadership that you would hire a black man to be offensive coordinator.
I'm gonna see if I can find it.
That kind of thing, because that's where those jobs go, right? So right off the ball, you end up as the quarterback's coach, and then we're not even seeing black quarterback coaches.
And listening to the conversation while I was having a meeting with some hot wings.
I was on wings.
They're rather tasty, by the way. But listening to the conversation, I was just thinking about, how would I feel if I actually took one of the interviews knowing that I wasn't really being considered, just to be just to be checking the block.
Right.
I really wouldn't even want to do an interview if I'm not really a considered candidate.
I agree.
I mean, and you even, and dudes, as a human resource guy, right? How is that interview even going to go when the person knows that they're not going to get the job, that they're just interviewing just to be interviewing, that you're not going, that's not going to be a good interview anyway.
Yeah, they're not going to put their best foot forward.
They're not going, right, exactly, because they know they're not going to get the job, or even if they assume that they're not going to get the job, that's not going to be a good interview, which isn't going to help them get the job either. You know what I'm saying? So it's a double-edged sword. It's that kind of thing.
So you decided. Oh, there we go.
And the thing about the quarterback coach, D, I don't think there's one black quarterback coach in the NFL right now.
Let's see. Here's my list, guys. Speak of the devil. I think I had it, if I recall. Let me try to pull that up. Categorized by the black coaches. Let me move this off the thing. Maybe not. But there are a couple. But that goes to my point. I think it's highlighted up in yellow. There's like only 3. But the reason why I wish I could zoom in on it. But the reason I brought this up, which Dorian made me think about it, to go back and pull this up there for all y'all. The NFL actually has a specific program for just what we're talking about, for minority coaches to excel up through to get to those those coordinator positions that we're talking about, to further to go into head coaching jobs. And on that list, there's 2 lists to that. There's only like 3 or 4 black coaches that are even on that quarterback list, and that's the quarterback list. I got the whole list of all the coaches. There are other few too. So combined, I think I counted maybe 7 that were even in this program that the NFL has to promote. And it's not just minorities, but it's only like 7 coaches, period, 7 black guys, period, amongst all this big umbrella of all these other individuals that have been pushed through this coordinators camp, if you will. That's another problem that nobody ever talks about. So, but like you said, it's not even worth the time to go to an interview when you know you have no shot in hell at getting a job. They're getting ready to recycle these retreads like the Grables, like in Atlanta. There's a petition right now. My cousins are just telling me there's a petition right now in Atlanta to not even bring Belichick. They don't even interview Bill Belichick. They don't want him down there. You see Grable. You see you guy in Seattle. He still wants to go. We're tired of the retreads.
Yeah.
Give these new guys.
And it's just crazy. And it is, you know, of course, it's more prevalent in the NFL, but just like basketball, for instance, the Charlotte Hornets, Steve Clifford was a losing coach when he was there originally, got fired. They brought another coach in. Then they brought him back. Why would you bring back a coach that was unsuccessful the first time and give him a job over, say, Mark Jackson, Patrick Ewing, these other guys?
Yeah. He was unsuccessful after he left you, too. So what was the point of bringing him back?
And you pass it over Mark Jackson, Patrick Ewing, Sam Cassell, all these guys that put in their time.
The final topic, Rodney.
The thing about the NFL, it's one of those things where, you know, in order for me to get this position, you want me to have this experience, right? Mm-hmm. But you won't let me get the experience to get that position. So you telling me, you know, through your actions, is that I'm never going to get that. That's my ceiling right here. I might
never stand a chance.
I might be a position coach. You know, that they'll gladly give you a position coach position. Go coach my linebackers. Go coach the tight ends. Go coach the offensive line. They'll give you those positions. But the positions of quote unquote authority, my coordinator position is only 2. My head coach position is only 1. You're not. I'm not going to put you in a position to get those. And I used to think that, okay, cool, we need to be the GM. If we become the GM, then, you know, we're going to hire, you know, someone that looks like us, act like us, that's going to be our head coach. But that ain't even happening.
We ain't got no black GMs.
We do have black GMs. It's like 4.
It's 4 of them. You're right. Excuse me.
Yeah, but out of those 4, it's only 1 that has a black coach, and that's down in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, go to Chicago. He kept Eberflus, who's been horrible, right? So you had an opportunity to go out, you know, and get someone because they do it. They go get their friends. Go get your friends. Bring them in. You know, give somebody an opportunity. Help somebody. Show that you can help somebody. Do something. Right. But the thing about the status quo just ain't gonna do it, especially when you have, you know, 75% of the league is African American and 2% are the African American coaches. That don't make no sense.
It's the NFL. I don't
know the exact numbers. I'm just throwing out numbers, but y'all get my point.
Yep. Hey, final note. Here's a quote that I've always been saying during. I don't know if you remember me saying this. I'm gonna say it again.
I probably don't.
Black coaches in all sports are hired and fired for the wrong reasons. Again, black coaches in all sports are hired and fired for all the wrong reasons. But moving on along from the football writing into some stuff happened last week. I know you don't want to talk about them boys, but quick over the Wildcard weekend. Rodney, we're gonna start with you. How you feeling, man? How are you feeling in your household? Because you didn't know who to root for over Wildcard weekend.
Well, no, I know who to root for. You know, I only root for one team, and that's the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh shit! I was gonna say the Lions.
No, I live in Detroit. I follow the Lions. I'm not a Lions fan.
You should get with a winner, man.
Because I live here and because my family, they like the Lions, you know, If the Lions are not playing the Cowboys, okay, they can go ahead and win. However,
Your
when it comes to the Cowboys and Lions, I got one allegiance, and that's to the Cowboys. Now, to answer your question, let's say this.
First of all, shout out. Dorian called a big upset last week, taking a shot at Rodney. He did call out Green Bay was going to beat Dallas in Big D.
First off, Dorian did that just to spite me. He had no idea that was going to happen. He didn't believe in himself when he said it.
Hey, even a blind squirrel can catch a nut sometimes.
And I have a joke, but I ain't gonna say about you catching no nuts.
Oh
shit!
Anyway, getting back to my Cowboys. This is what I would say. Y'all know me. Y'all know the only thing I care about is winning. That's it.
All your teams lose.
If we play in the game and my best player makes a bad pass or a bad shot, I'm putting them on the bench because all I want to do is win.
All we do is win.
I have very serious issues with Jerry Jones right now because you cannot tell me that the only thing that you're concerned about is winning and you make zero changes after we got whooped by, the score says 12, but it should have been 200 the way that they were playing. The defense didn't stop them not one time. They averaged 9.5 yards per carry 9.5 yards per play on first downs. 9.5 yards per play on first down, and you make zero changes. You kept the head coach. Head coach should have been fired 2 minutes after the game ended. You kept the defensive coordinator. Defensive coordinator, go try to get you another job at one of these other places because he's been interviewing. You hear all about all the interviews he's had. He's been interviewing. Hopefully somebody hires him because his defense was absolutely atrocious. Dak Prescott, you stuck with that. There's really nothing you can do with that. Even if you tried to get rid of him, you can't. Who you gonna trade him to? Because he made too much money, and he can't win in the playoffs. So why would somebody give you some asset for a quarterback that's not gonna win in the playoffs? So there's that. The offensive line that was always the staple of all of our winning is just. They don't block nobody. Yes, play a little small violin D. They don't block anybody. They don't do anything. Special teams. I had a kicker that didn't miss a field goal until week 17, and then he missing field goals, missing extra points. So everybody let you down. Everybody let me down.
It's so hard.
So what do you do?
Cry me a river.
You're not gonna let me say this rant. You did absolutely
Get it out,
nothing. You kept everything the same. The definition of insanity is doing the exact same thing, expecting a different result.
Sounds like
the Cowboys every year.
I don't want the same result.
Sounds like
the same result.
No, you're expecting a different result.
Yeah. I need a different result. So
Jerry needs to sell the team. What else happened over Wildcard? That's the team. You got it out.
I'm gonna say this though. Dan Olacio Get Up said one thing. He said that by Jerry Jones making this decision to keep Mike McCarthy, that means that Dallas has to be the most active team in the draft and free agency this year because you got to be all in. And if you're not, I don't ever want to hear Jerry Jones say it's all about winning because all you want is the money. That's all you're concerned about. And that's the issue. He didn't want to let Mike McCarthy go because he still had to pay Mike McCarthy, and then he was going to have to pay another coach. So Jerry's all about the money. He didn't want to fix the team. That's all I have to say about it. I ain't talking about them again until April when the draft time comes. Go ahead.
Anyway, so in other games and upsets in Wildcard, weekend. Dorian, what was the other game? Let's see, what was another game? We ain't gonna get to the Detroit game because that would just go right to Rodney and how
the Eagles got the break beat off of them. The Eagles screwed the pooch
again. That was
in Tampa.
that
Wait a minute, hold up. Did y'all hear the reporter asked Todd Bowles the question?
Oh, was that your dumbest question?
Oh my God! Did you hear? That was the dumbest question I've ever heard. Did you hear it? So the reporter said, the reporter was like, so, this week in Tampa, it was, a balmy 61, 60 something degrees. But in Detroit, it's been, extremely cold and they've had snow. It's supposed to be in like the teens. So how are you preparing your team to deal with those conditions, to that big change from Tampa to Detroit? and Tom Bowles like, we play indoors, right? They have a dome.
And that's how you respond to dumbass questions. You put the stupid.
But he said it so deadpan. He was like, that we playing indoors, right? He says they have a dome. He says, so I'm not really concerned about that at all.
About the outside elements.
That was the stupidest question ever in your questions.
Right.
But yeah,
back to right.
The Eagles laying the egg, I think, is very interesting because it also leads to questions, just like you would start questioning Mike McCarthy. Even though I don't believe Sirianni should be fired, I just went to the Super Bowl last year.
They broke the defense.
And I don't even know if I necessarily think that Mike McCarthy should be fired. I think that Cowboy fans are delusional, thinking y'all always got to go to the Super Bowl every single year. But I think everything else in Wildcard weekend, I think went kind of as everybody expected. But those two games, I think were interesting.
What about back to Rodney to beat the Rams? Except me, that was awesome. That was awesome. So shout out to Rodney's family. At least he lives with winners. He's smart. The wife is smart. That's the only thing good that happened to that. But that was a big win right there. I was even happy for Detroit. Rodney, you remember earlier in our last season in some of our shows, I was talking about we did our predictions, and I said Detroit, say, oh man, we do that every year. Detroit ain't gonna do nothing because that's that Dallas in you. And look at them now.
That Dallas in you.
And I think they are going to beat Tampa Bay. I think Detroit's going to be in the NFC Championship against my Niners, my guy. So, like Dorian said, other than that, in the AFC.
Oh no! So the big game in the AFC was the Houston Texans.
Oh yeah.
Demolishing the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, you're right. They did beat the brakes off of them.
That game for the rookie, CJ Stroud, to play like he did is just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
And Flacco, like we thought he was. He is who we thought he was. I told y'all, don't get all hype in Cleveland. Flacco was who we thought he was. And you
There's
saw
the reason why Flacco was on the couch.
On the couch.
But CJ Stroud came in. He's doing things that basically no rookie has done ever. Leading the league in pretty much every offensive category you can find for a quarterback. But that game was good. You also had the Kansas City Miami Dolphins game. That was expected. The weather was way too bad for Miami. Miami can't win when the temperature's less than 45 degrees.
My poor Dolphins. We couldn't beat a good team this year if our lives depended on it.
Hold on. And Tyreek out there with no sleeves on. They all trying to get all hype like they hard. Come on, man. They knew
no sleeves. When as soon as you get to the sideline, you throw that big coat on.
Right.
But look, when I was stationed in a career ride, and we'd be out there, and we'd have to go to the field, and it's like a minus 12 degrees. We had to saying that the cold will make a sissy out of many a man.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
That's
pretty much.
quote.
And then the other game you had, which went on as expected, and that was Buffalo against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh just has no quarterback whatsoever.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was expected, but
yeah, they have no quarterback whatsoever. So off season, that's the first thing they have to do is try to find a quarterback. I don't know. There's really not. What's his name? Kenny
Tomlinson.
Pickett.
Oh, Kenny Pickett.
No, Kenny Pickett. Tomlinson told after he had his interview today, where he told hey, I am coming back next year, even though it's his last year of his contract. He said he is coming back.
He said he expects to get a contract extension. He hasn't gotten one yet.
Okay.
But he did tell after that, he told Kenny Pickett that he's going in as a starter. He's gonna have to win the job, which means they probably bring in another veteran. I doubt if they try to draft another quarterback. They're gonna bring somebody in there that might be able to lead them, because that's if you look at their team, man, they got when their head is right, they got two good young receivers, they got two good young running backs. They got a good tight end. Their offensive line does need a little bit of help, but it ain't that much. They got a good defense. The only thing that's killing them is the freaking quarterback.
He's the quarterback. Remember where Kenny Pickett was on my quarterback ranking thing that we did on Blaming on the Boogie here? He was down and mediocre towards the bottom. Right. Everybody that they had there has been mediocre, but that wasn't, the coach's fault. And I expect him to still be there. So no changes there. But as far as going out,
that was the recap from the Wildcard weekend. Now let's get to where we always wrong, except D last week because he got lucky.
But I was wrong about Cleveland though.
I got paid for Detroit game.
Preview for next week for this weekend's game. That's the divisional playoff round. This week you have the Baltimore Ravens going against who are they playing?
The Texans.
Are they playing the Texans? They are playing the Texans.
Yeah.
Ravens playing the Texans. What's the pick on that? Pick them. Ravens, Texans. Go quick.
Ravens
at home.
Ravens. They playing at home. We just talked about the cold. That's like Miami going into Kansas City. Houston plays in the dome. They play in Texas. And they play in Texas, which is crazy. Well, Houston, excuse me. In state. But yeah, they're gonna get their butts kicked out. They ain't ready for that snow. That'll be another one. If they win that game, that will solidify the rookie of the year for CJ Stroud. And I must say here, you got the right journey this year. You already got it, but that's just put him above a scale so high. And he was already top 5 all year in my quarterbacking ranking thing. So that would be a phenomenal win for him to go in there to beat the potential MVP in Lamar Jackson. Oh, come on, man. That'd be awesome. Because again, here's again, black quarterbacks at the top of their game. Besides Tom Brady, the last few quarterbacks been Super Bowl been all black.
If the Texans beat Baltimore, I don't think Lamar Jackson can recover from that.
Exactly. He would lose everything from that. He'll fuck around lose.
He'll lose the crowd. They're the number 1 seed. They've had the best season of any team in the NFL because they beat San Francisco. Yeah, they beat San Francisco.
They beat the brakes off of us, as Dorian would say.
So that they've had the best season of anybody in the NFL. If they lose, that I don't know how he can recover from that. If they already have the rumblings that he can't win in the playoffs. He like that. Great regular season quarterback, but can't win in the playoffs. So that'll be difficult for him to recover from that.
Well, Dante, they said the same thing about Steve Young.
Yeah, he couldn't win. Yeah,
that he couldn't win. I mean,
whole thing.
Again, I just think it's one of them things that we always try to lay all of this individual responsibility in a team sport.
Mm-hmm.
Now if he go out there and throw, have a quarterback rating of 12, with three interceptions and he 11 for
That's
30.
how that worked.
11 for 33 pass, and then I would say it was Lamar Jackson. But I don't think and I was wrong last week, but because I said Cleveland would beat them. But again, the Ravens are a much better team than Cleveland, particularly offensively. So I think that I think it's time for the Houston bandwagon to kind of end in Baltimore.
Yeah, but no matter what, they had a great season. So
what's the other?
Nobody expected them.
What's the other game going right?
And the other game is
my God.
the AFC Kansas City Chiefs go to Buffalo, 6:30 on Sunday.
I think Buffalo actually gets them. I think, man, they're gonna beat my quarterback. I think Buffalo's gonna actually beat them because they did a hell of a job on that field. That's why I think the Steelers lost. They had more fucking snow in the seats. That field was damn near immaculate. I was expecting snow everywhere, rumble, stumble, fumbling down the field. It was an aerial assault by Buffalo, and I see the same thing happening again. And because Buffalo's at home as opposed to having to go to Kansas City, I think that's probably the only upset I see going on this weekend. Because I agree with Dorian. As magical as a year as Houston's had, I think it ends in Baltimore. But if there's going to be any upset, if you want to call it an upset, would be Buffalo finally getting over the hump with Kansas City and that new, that rivalry that it is now.
D-Dub?
I think the Chiefs are going to get them. My homie and the boys. Yeah, I believe they'll get them. And then plus, since, I got the Chiefs.
Dory?
Man, that's a hard. That's a tough one because I want to go with my head and not my heart. But ever since the Rams left, ever since I started going to Kansas City all the time to see my mom when she was living there, I started going to the game. So I've been kind of a closet Kansas City fan for a minute. Right. But I just kind of think that this year that offensively, they really kind of don't have the firepower that they've always had. However, I will say that their game now is more adaptable to playing in Buffalo because they got Isaiah Pacheco to run the ball. Yep. And you can run the ball in that kind of cold weather and so on and so forth. But I really think that Buffalo's defense is still and has always been since Sean McDermott has been there and will continue to be very stout. And so I think that that even though the Chiefs' defense is better, of course, and that's because their offense isn't as good, but I really think that Buffalo will beat them at home.
And what's the line of the game, Rodney, real quick before we go to
that, even though Kansas City beat Buffalo in Buffalo the last time.
Right. But what's the line of the game, Rodney? It can't be more than 3.5, 4 points.
I'm gonna say is wait, it didn't show it. Wait.
I'm seeing Bills 2.5. Bills at -2.5.
Yeah, so that's what
that's pretty much a pick 'em.
What that game is going to be. But then in the final game,
so
then they say the home field gives a team and automatically they give them at least 3 points.
Yeah. Pacheco is expected not to play this week.
Ooh. Okay.
Well, that changes everything.
Yeah, that changes everything because Edwards-Helaire and who is it? Is it McKinnon or whatever? I forgot who the other backup. They not Pacheco. Speaking of which, Dalvin Cook is on the Ravens roster. They released Melvin Gordon.
Oh, they Ravens picked him up.
Yep, the Ravens got him. Yep.
Wow. Hey, but injury,
he has to pass concussion protocol in order to play.
So with that report, I think the balancer would be with Pacheco not being in would be Josh Allen.
Well, there's a possibility. There's a possibility he might play, but as of right now, he's going through concussion protocol.
I think here's what's going to be the game. The difference in that game is going to be which of the two quarterbacks throws the most interceptions, and I think it's going to be Josh Allen. If I picked Buffalo to win that, but if Kansas City were to upset them, if you will, is going to be because of Josh Allen throwing them untimely interceptions. But and then in the final, I think divisional game this weekend, Rodney is.
I got to give mine, man.
With Dallas, they ain't in a.
I gotta get mine.
I'm going KC, mainly because the Bills got a lot of actually a lot, but they have some key injuries on defense, and I just don't trust Josh Allen. Not in the big game. So I'm going KC, even though Mahomes has let me down all year and cost me my championship this year in the fantasy league, but we're gonna let that go.
You saw Jerry Jones right now.
In the NFC, we have game 1 being the Green Bay Packers against the San Francisco 49ers Saturday at 8:15.
You already know.
What's the line on that, D?
Man,
San Francisco.
I'm going to say so folks won't come. I was going to say so folks won't come looking for me. But
Packers.
I'm really going to have to say San Francisco. I think that this is San Francisco's year in the NFC. So I'm really thinking San Francisco is going all the way to the Super Bowl, and but I definitely think that they'll beat Green Bay. Green Bay, I don't think Green Bay is really ready for San Francisco's offense.
Or
so
defense. You know what we do to Green Bay.
Well, I mean, we thought the Dallas defense was going to do well against because despite Rodney's rant and wanting to get rid of Dan Quinn after one bad game, it just happened to be in the playoffs. Quiet, I'm talking. It just happened to be in the playoffs.
I can tell you wrong.
But Dallas has been a good defense all season. Has been a really good defense all season.
Except in 3 games.
But I don't think that they're going to be able to. Green Bay is going to be able to do that against San Francisco's defense either. But I just don't think. So I think that all around, I got San Francisco in that game. I think that Jordan Love's the Green Bay train ends right here too.
As always.
I think 49ers played great all year. I think I agree with Dorian. I think it just might be their year. So I go with the 49ers.
And I concur with what I said.
Do we need to add? Do we really need to ask? That's like asking you about the Cowboys. It's asking him about the 49ers.
You got to ask me. I just agree with everything dudes and Dorian just said.
You said ditto?
Well, Eddie, I think they'll win. What kind of fun question is that in my Carlton voice?
So I have 2 things. First thing, Dan Quinn's defense was good against bad teams. Against the good teams, we absolutely sucked. Evident by the beatings we got from those 6 teams that we lost to. Second thing, in order for my Cowboys to save face, I gotta go with Green Bay.
We're not talking about San Francisco and Green Bay. That's why I said Cowboys no more.
Talk about the Cowboys.
In order for my Cowboys,
he's brokenhearted.
I got to go with Green Bay to say that Green Bay is the best team in the NFC. So they got to win to prove that my Cowboys lost for a reason. That's the logic. That's why I go with them.
Hey Dante, do you have any of Andre 3000's flute album?
Oh,
I'm gonna be wrong. I'm gonna be wrong, but hey,
you got to play that flute when he start talking about the Cowboys.
Rodney, what did Dorian tell you?
Hey, how about a little less questions and a little more shut the hell up?
Yes, D, shut the hell up. So the last game,
We don't want nothing else about goddamn Dallas.
the
Moving
last
on.
game,
30 more games. Any more
the last
divisional
game is the game of the week, and that's the Detroit Lions against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here in the Detroit, Michigan, Sunday at 3:00.
You going right?
Y'all got Dante, you go first.
Going with the D. I told you like 15 episodes ago. Detroit was gonna make the playoffs.
Shut up, Dorian. Shut up, Dorian.
Going with the D. D for Dorian. D for Dante. D for Dudes. Oh, I'm going with Detroit, motherfucker. A winner.
All right, D-Dub, what you got?
Well, even though I lived in Tampa for a while, and I do like the Buccaneers, but Detroit, I got to go with Detroit. They're playing great this year as well, so I'm going with Detroit.
You got to root for the underdog.
I'm with everybody as a consensus. I'm going. Well, we ain't got the writing yet, so we don't know. But I'm going with Detroit. I'd like to see Detroit. Somebody, I forgot where it was that they said that basically Detroit is the Cubs of the NFL. And so I'd like to see Detroit go ahead and really do something in the playoffs. I don't think they'll beat San Francisco.
Right.
I don't think they'll beat San Francisco, but I'd like to see Detroit win, and I think that they can. And I think they have a much better team. I think I don't think last week's game against Philly is really any indication that Tampa is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more of an indication that Philly was in the doldrums. They were in quicksand and they couldn't get out, and they were just terrible the last 7 games of the year. I think that game was really more indicative of how bad Philly had gotten than how good Tampa really is.
Yep.
So I see Detroit being able to, I don't necessarily think that they will blow them out. They may, because Detroit's got a better defense, I think. But I definitely think that they'll win pretty handily.
So we have a saying up here. They call it the SOL, and that's the same old Lions. Because every year it's the same old Lions. They would lose. They never had a culture. Finally, the Detroit Lions have a culture where the coach has instilled winning into them. And this year it's showing. Actually, in the last year and a half, it's been showing. The D said he don't think that they can beat San Francisco. The thing is, if it's a shootout, Detroit can play with anybody in the league.
What did Jared Goff do against the 49ers when he was in LA? When he was in
LA. That was LA.
And in Detroit.
That was LA, bro. That ain't this year. It ain't these Lions.
I'm just talking about this whole pack. Come on, bro. But anyway, I'm being biased right now.
Hey, so the thing is, you got to give Jared Goff the credit that he deserves this year. Jared Goff has been one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league this year.
No, he wasn't. He was slight. He was in the top 10. He never made top 5. I got the stats to prove it. So that's not true.
Okay, give me the 5 that were better than him. CJ Stroud.
Excuse me. Pardon me. I did confuse y'all. I'm thinking about Stafford. Yeah, Jared Goff he slipped up there, slipped down. He was in top 10 most. He was in the top 10 most.
Goff has been balling this year.
He has out.
So to answer the question, the Lions are going to win this game.
He has to play outdoors in San Francisco when it's going to be cold. That's Dorian during that day.
That's the reason why San Francisco will win, because the game will be in San Francisco.
You disagree with what Dorian said.
Say again?
That's what Dorian said. Detroit's run.
No. What I'm saying is, don't just automatically assume that if the game is San Francisco against Detroit, that San Francisco is going to win that game, because this is a different Lions team.
No, we're going to win our game. This ain't the Cowboys at home.
All right. Well, y'all going to beat Green Bay, so let's get to that. Let's get to that.
What's our record against Green Bay?
First. Beat Green Bay. Green Bay the best team in the NFL right now because they beat the Cowboys. So,
oh my God! Shut the hell up.
That is the divisional round previews. So the consensus was, well, other than we were pretty much in agreement except for the San Francisco game. Green Bay has to win that game.
Yeah, which means all our predictions are going to be jacked up come Sunday.
Yeah, of course they're gonna be wrong. Somewhere along the line, they're gonna be wrong.
Just because you hating on us, your Cowboys.
But,
Final thoughts. Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers. Gonna be made official this week. It'll be announced after this divisional weekend. Look for that.
Okay.
Look for that, and that's start eliminating some of these other jobs that we're talking about. So you have Atlanta, but yeah, that's going to start the dominoes to follow when Jumbo, as I've been saying for over a year, he's coming back home. Look for the Chargers to be the 49ers of the AFC next year. Dudes, any final thoughts before we close shop?
No, I'm just glad to be back in the fold. You know, I've been out for a little while, but I'm back in the mix, trying to make $1 out of 95 cents.
Back in style again.
Hey, you know we shouted you out last week, dude.
I've seen right there.
We gotta get that money on.
You lucky I didn't have a full body photo.
Want to say, bro?
Nope. I'm just trying to hurry up and get out of here so Dante can get to Dante can get to 3G night.
To the 3G night.
The 3G.
Let him get to the 3G night.
3G. We can't say that on air. All right, fellas.
We want to thank each and every one of you for joining with us again this week. We've had some great discussions. As usual, Dorian has proved that he's always wrong. And Dante's takes are absolutely horrible. The Cowboys were robbed.
They realized
and my Knicks are going to be in the NBA Finals.
Somebody mute his mic.
So, like that thing said, like us, subscribe, click that notification bell, send dudes the money. Because of course dudes always want that.
I need
on
money.
behalf of
gotta eat.
DOOGE, the Wonder Mile. I don't know what that is, but if you like what we said, we thank you. But if you didn't,
Kiss it.
guess what, y'all? Yeah.
Don't blame it on sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie. Don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. I don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie. Sunshine, sunshine, moonlight, moonlight, good times. Blame it on the boogie.